Hey guys, J5 here, and in today's video, I'm gonna be asking you something. Well, kind of. You guys remember the show Gravity Falls? And have you ever wondered what all the codes would say? Well, this YouTuber, Big Blue Backpack, made a video on decoding every single Gravity Falls code. So let's check out the information, shall we?
If you came here looking for specific information, use the chapter markings.
Okay.
I want this video to be a useful resource for people, so I've made navigating the sections as easy as possible.
Oh,
Feel free to
that's nice.
skip around and watch just the parts you want.
Oh, okay.
That said, I designed this video
Yes,
to be
that's
fun
nice.
to watch straight through, so I
Okay.
hope that if you decide to do that, you'll have a good time. And I'd really appreciate if you did. I could use the watch time.
Okay.
Man, Gravity Falls was so great. There was really no cartoon like it.
Yes,
and ever
it
since
was.
it ended, every
was
cartoon
great.
since seems to take influence from it in some way.
Yeah, that
It's
makes
got a great
sense.
story and characters.
Yes.
But the thing it's most famous for is the mystery element.
Yes, it
It's
was.
known for kickstarting modern theory culture and mainstreaming the concept of secret hidden background lore.
Yes.
If you just casually watch this show, you might have no idea what I'm talking about. Especially if you
I remember
binged
that.
it all on Disney Plus after it ended.
Oh, I remember. Yes,
Sure,
I
there
did.
were some mysteries in the main plot, like Dipper trying to figure out who wrote the journals and what
Yes.
Stan was hiding.
Yeah,
But
that
wasn't
makes
the plot
sense.
pretty straightforward?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. The show isn't Twin Peaks or Lost. But along with the main plot, the show was also peppering in a ton of background Easter eggs and hidden coded messages that really transform the experience of watching the show if you're paying attention to them.
Yes, I've seen
There
those
were
before.
a lot of these messages.
Yes, there were.
They were in every episode of the show.
What does that mean?
As well as all the secondary media like books,
that.
comics, and games.
I don't know what these are.
How much exactly? Well,
They're
you've seen the
cool, but
runtime
you
of this
don't.
video. Because, yeah, I combed over every scrap of Gravity Falls
Oh my
media
goodness.
and painstakingly tracked down every single
Wow.
one of them. I am
Whoa.
nothing if not thorough. Over the
Understandable.
course of this video, I'm going to
That's
list
interesting.
off and translate them one by one. I want
Okay,
this video to
let's
be a
go.
complete resource for anyone looking to find information on these codes.
Okay.
And as a side benefit, it'll also serve as a complete top-down view of the franchise's entire canon.
Yes.
From
good
newbies
idea.
to the most hardcore of fans, I guarantee that
Okay.
there's something I mentioned in this video that you don't know about. Like I said, I'm nothing if not thorough.
Yes.
So let's find out what this show is hiding from us.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. The Big Blue Backpack. That's his show. That's his channel's intro. Okay, let's see what you got for us, buddy. Law and story physics. No one believes in the supernatural.
Quick
unless you
recap of
see
the
it.
basic plot of this show.
What?
Twins Dipper and Mabel Pines visit
Okay.
the fictional town of Gravity Falls in the fictional state of Oregon to spend the summer with their great uncle
Yeah,
Stanford.
Oregon's a real state,
They
buddy.
discover that Gravity Falls is full of all kinds of supernatural things,
Yes.
collectively referred to as weirdness.
Yes.
In the pilot,
Yeah,
Dipper
I've seen
finds a
those
journal
before.
with a six-figured
Yes.
hand and the number 3 on it.
Yes,
written
I've
by
seen
an
that
unknown
before.
researcher
I actually
investigating all
have
the
that
weirdness.
book.
Dipper makes it his mission to find out who wrote this journal and to investigate the mysteries of the town.
Yes.
The end of the pilot also builds some more intrigue with a scene of Stan sneaking down a secret passageway behind a vending machine.
Yes, I've seen that before. Season 1 cryptograms. Okay, let's see what you got for us.
Compared to how involved the plot would get later, Season 1 was pretty light episodic filler.
Yeah, I
but there
remember
are
that.
details that cue
Yes.
you into the idea that it's worth paying attention to the little stuff.
Yes.
Like the time travel episode, where Dipper and Mabel run through scenes from earlier episodes and drop various objects that really
I
are in
remember
those scenes
this.
when you go back and watch them again.
Yes, I've seen those
And of
before.
course, the title sequence has all kinds of suspicious things in it.
Okay.
There's weird whispering at the end of it, and it flashes this diagram
Yes.
of a weird triangle guy.
Yes, I've seen
I
this
know
before.
you know this is Bill Cipher.
Yes, I
but let's
know.
pretend you haven't seen the show and this is all new to you.
Yes, that
This is
makes
also
sense.
where we get our first coded messages. The
Okay.
whispering is actually saying
That's
real words.
interesting.
It's just recorded backwards.
Yes, I know this.
If you reverse the audio, it says,
Yes, 3 letters back.
on the drawing of the
Okay.
triangle guy, there's a string of random letters. This is our
Okay.
first cryptogram, and it can be
Cryptogram.
translated
Wait,
to a
what?
written message in English.
What does that say?
But how do you translate it?
Okay.
Do what the voice told you. 3 letters back.
3 letters back, yeah.
This is called a Caesar cipher.
Yes.
If you replace every letter with the one 3 letters back in the alphabet,
Oh.
for example, if you see a D, change it to an A,
Yes, I
you get
know
the
this
message,
before.
Stan is not what he seems.
Yes.
This 3-letter Caesar cipher is the most common type of cryptogram in the show going forward.
Okay.
Oh, I should stop to say that I'm not discovering anything new here.
Okay.
The fandom found and decoded all these a long time ago.
Yes.
All I'm really doing is sorting through all the work other people did and organizing it all in one place.
Oh, okay,
So to
that's
credit some
interesting.
people, thank you to the writers of the Gravity Falls fan wiki.
Okay.
Thank you to Reddit user PK2317 for this
Okay.
guide on how the ciphers
Oh,
work.
okay, that's interesting.
And thank you to the website themysteryofgravityfalls.com.
Yeah, I know
which
that
lets you
website.
paste in text and decode it automatically.
Yes.
I'll link everything in the description.
Yes. I've been to that website
that?
before.
The hidden message below
Yeah, I've
will
seen
reveal
that
the secrets
before.
of Bill Cipher.
Let's see.
Hey, translate that.
Okay. I just typed the whole thing, and it just says,
Oh.
just kidding, you
Well
fucking
played.
had that was...
But to continue,
I
the
love
first batch
that.
of episodes all have a cryptogram in the end credits that can be decoded with this
Okay.
Caesar cipher.
Let's go.
Episode 1 says, "Welcome to Gravity Falls."
Uh-huh.
Episode 2 says, "Next week, return to Butt Island." Episode
I
3
love
says, "He's still in the vents,"
Yes.
referring to the Wax Larry King head. Episode 4 says, "Carla, why won't you call me?"
What?
Carla is Stan's old ex-girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Episode 5 says, "Onwards, Aoshima,"
Yes.
which is the name of the dolphin Mabel hallucinates.
Okay.
Episode
Yeah,
6
I've seen that
says, "Mr. Caesarian will be out next week. Mr. Atbash will substitute."
Oh, okay.
As that one suggests,
That's
the next few
interesting.
messages won't be using a Caesar cipher. Instead,
Okay.
they use an Atbash cipher.
Yes, I've
What
seen
is
those
that?
before.
There's a new backwards message in the title sequence that says, "Switch A and Z."
Oh,
So
okay.
for an Atbash cipher, A is Z, B is Y, etc.
Yes.
Episode 7 says, "Paper Jam Dipper
Okay.
says,
Impressive.
Episode 8 says, E pluribus trembli.
Yes.
Episode 9 says, "Not H.G. Wells approved."
What?
H.G. Wells wrote The Time Machine, and this was the time travel episode.
Oh, okay.
Episode 10 says, "Sorry, Dipper, but your Wendy is in another castle." Episode 11 says, "The Invisible Wizard is watching."
Okay.
Referencing a throwaway joke from the episode.
There's a wizard in this closet, isn't there?
What? Alright, I forgot about that.
Invisible wizard.
Episode 12 says, "Brought to you by Homework, the candy."
Okay, that's interesting.
Episode 13 says, "Heavy is the head that wears the
Take
fez."
30.
Episode 14
Okay.
gives us a new cipher and a new backwards message that says,
Oh, alright. 26 letters. Yeah. I
these
saw it.
messages are numbers, where A is 1, B is 2, etc.
Oh, okay.
until Z is 26.
That's
This is
interesting.
referred to as an A1Z26 cipher.
Okay.
Going back to episode 8, if you decode the
Negative
serial number
12.
on Quentin Tremblay's negative $12 bill,
You
it
have to
says
add up the
blind.
numbers and pair first.
Episode
Okay.
14 says, "Next up, Footbot 2, Grunkle's Revenge."
What?
Episode 15
Yeah, I
says,
know this.
"Vivan los patos de la piscina," Spanish for "Long live the pool ducks."
Oh, okay.
Episode 16 says, "But who stole the capers?" which was the plot of a mystery novel Dipper was
Oh,
reading.
okay, that's
Episode
interesting.
17 says, "Happy now, Ariel?"
Okay.
Ariel Hirsch is the twin sister of Gravity Falls creator
Oh,
Alex
that's-
Hirsch.
that's
And
interesting.
Alex based Dipper and Mabel on him and his sister.
Yes, I remember
This was the boy band episode, so I guess Ariel is a big fan of boy bands.
I
Episode
love
18
that.
says, "It works for pigs."
I
Episode
remember that.
19, the second to last episode of the season, says, "To be continued."
Yes. I know
Almost
this.
everything I've mentioned so far has been in the end credits.
Yes.
But in this string of episodes, there are also a few cryptograms scattered in the
Bottomless
middle of
pit, I remember
episodes
this.
using the older ciphers.
Question.
Episode 16 shows the
Okay.
page of a book called "Why Am I Sweaty?"
Yes,
that
I've seen
says,
this.
"Puberty is the greatest mystery of
Oh,
all."
I've seen this.
Also, go outside and make friends.
I
In
wondered
episode
what that
18,
said.
Stan has a fantasy sequence where his tattoo changes to OLHV, a Caesar
Oh,
cipher
that's
for the
interesting.
word lies.
Oh.
And in episode 19, inside Stan's mind, the text on various signs and logos have been replaced with
Weirdly,
Caesar
this
cipher
one-
versions, like Mystery Shack
That's
and Pit
interesting.
Cola.
Oh, it is interesting.
Here's a new cipher. A small handful of times, we see writings in a made-up
Okay.
language on pages of the
Yeah,
journal.
what is that?
It's implied that anything written in this language is written by the author of the journal.
Okay.
Every symbol corresponds to
The
a letter
author's
of the
cipher.
alphabet. There's not an
That's
obvious way to
interesting.
translate
This
it,
thing is
but by
fan-made,
messing
okay.
around and using trial and
That makes
error,
sense.
you can figure out which symbol is which letter.
Yes, that makes sense.
Episode 19 has this message that says, "Liar,
Liar,
monster,
monster."
snappy dresser," written behind Bill Cipher's name.
I love that.
In the season finale, on the page next to the squashed with a human face,
Uh-huh.
it says, "Don't eat him."
Oh,
But more
that
importantly,
makes sense.
this page has a longer message that reads, "The portal, when completed,
Oh.
will open a gateway to infinite new worlds and herald
That's
a new era
interesting.
in mankind's understanding of the universe. Plus, it will
Yes.
probably get girls to start talking to me finally." Recurring
I
villain
love
Little
that.
Gideon, who has journal number 2,
Yes.
tries to steal the other journals by summoning Bill Cipher,
Interesting.
which journal 3 says you should never do.
Yeah, don't
Gideon
summon-
talks backwards when he summons him, so let's reverse the audio to find out what he's saying.
Yeah, let's see what he says.
This
is forward. Okay. Okay, yeah, let's see. Backwards message. Just straight up backwards message.
Backward message.
Okay, let's go.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
whatever.
backwards messages, the dog Mabel hallucinates in episode 5
Yes.
says,
Monsters. Yeah, I've seen this.
in the finale, Bill is defeated for now.
Okay.
But of course, we get the big
Oh.
reveal that Stan has a secret
Oh,
lab
it's
under the
the-
Mystery Shack.
it's the
where he
lab.
has some
I
kind of
forgot about
huge
that.
machine, and that he's had journal number 1 this whole time.
Oh.
After all these years,
right. I forgot about that.
Finally, we have them all.
During this scene, there's a Caesar cipher on this pipe
That's
near the end that
interesting.
translates to Bill is watching.
Bill is watching.
The final cryptogram of the season in the end credits is more complicated than
Okay.
usual. A page of the journal from earlier has an
That's
A1Z26
Oh, what does that
cipher
say?
that translates to reverse the ciphers.
Reverse the ciphers.
What this means is that for this message, you have to use all 3 ciphers.
Oh.
Change the numbers to letters, then switch them with the @bash cipher.
Okay.
Then move
Oh,
them 3 letters back with the
that's
Caesar cipher.
interesting.
And you
Search
get
for the blind
search
eye.
for the blind eye. So imagine that you were
Okay.
watching this show live, decoding all these cryptograms
love
as each
that.
episode came out. What extra information would you learn about the plot?
Yeah,
Honestly, not
understand.
much. 95% of them are throwaway jokes. And
Yeah.
the ones that are plot relevant don't tell you much beyond what you already knew.
Yeah, that makes
Like,
no
the first
sense.
message was, Stan is not what he seems. Which, like, duh. We saw that in the
Yes.
first episode.
Yeah, that
But
makes
those
sense.
last couple of messages are interesting.
Yes,
the
it
one written by
is.
the author about opening up a portal has some pretty big implications.
Yes,
And the
what
last
is it?
one, search for the blind eye, sounds like
Search
it's
for
hinting
the
at something
blind
new.
eye. Interesting. The shorts. Okay, let's see what
That's
they
everything
do.
from season 1.
6, 1,
But the
8,
show itself
6,
wasn't the only place you could find coded messages at the time.
Okay.
During and after season 1, there were a bunch of supplemental materials that
Yes,
gave
I've seen
away,
this before.
honestly, a lot. There were a few
Think-
different series of Gravity Falls shorts that aired during this time.
Okay.
Most of them aren't that deep. There's Mabel's Guide to Life, where
Yes.
Mabel talks to the camera and gives advice and things. This
I've
is where
seen
that
this
meme
before.
comes from, by the
Oh!
way.
Open the window.
I forgot about that. I used to do that every morning when I wake up.
There's Fixin' It with Seuss, where
Jeez.
Seuss tries to fix things.
Yes.
There are
that
the
makes sense.
TV shorts, where we see
Oh,
snippets
right.
of public access TV shows run by different characters.
I love that.
There's Mabel's scrapbook, where Mabel
Okay.
recounts funny things she did with the rest of the characters.
Yeah.
But the one we need to focus on is Dipper's Guide to the Unexplained.
Yes.
Each
that.
episode has Dipper trying to research something weird in town. It's worth pointing out
Interesting.
that the second episode has Dipper investigating Stan's tattoo,
Okay.
unsuccessfully.
Yeah,
Further emphasizing that this
unsuccessfully.
tattoo is important somehow.
Interesting.
But more importantly for us right now, it's got more coded messages.
What did that say? I don't know.
Every short ends with a flash of a journal
Yeah, I've
page
seen
with
these
2
before.
ciphers on it. One in
Interesting.
black and one in red.
Yes.
The black ones are simple Caesar ciphers, but each one is only part of a sentence and doesn't make any sense on its own.
Yeah, what?
But there were 6 of these shorts, and if you take each journal page
Yes.
and put them together,
Oh.
you get a
So
picture
that's
of a
what the
blind
picture-
eye logo.
so that's what the
and
picture
it
you
puts
get
these
is.
ciphers in the order you're supposed to read them. They say, from the
see
first
what they
until
say.
the last. Search the codes of credits past.
Oh.
1 means 1, so search them all. Welcome to
Okay.
Gravity Falls.
Oh, that's interesting.
But what does that mean?
Yeah, what
Search
does that
the
mean?
codes of credits past?
Yes.
1 means 1? That brings us to the red ciphers. The
Oh,
black
okay.
cipher is telling you how to solve the red one.
Oh.
The red ciphers are all collections of
That's
numbers.
interesting.
The first number indicates the episode from season 1 that you have to go to and
Oh.
find the cipher from that episode's credits.
Okay.
So for this first one, you have to go to episode 13. If you go
Oh.
find the cipher in the credits and take the 8th, 9th, 10th, 14th,
Oh.
17th, and 22nd letters,
That's-
you get the DAR.
The door.
Once you do this for all 6
I
and
love
combine
that.
them, you get I was so blind. He lied to me.
Oh.
The darkness is near.
Wow.
Ooh, spooky.
Yeah, it is spooky. Disney Channel Flash games. Oh, I remember playing these.
Then there were a bunch of ciphers in the Flash games on DisneyChannel.com.
Yes.
The games aren't up officially anymore.
Yes.
I assume I'm doing the best I can with emulators and YouTube footage. Most of these games had at least one
love
cipher. To hit on all the easy ones, Mystery Shack Mystery says,
Yes, I remember
ever notice
these.
Stan's tattoo on Stan's desk?
Kind of.
That's the third time a
Oh.
message called attention to his tattoo.
Yeah, I did.
Fright Night has one that says,
Yes.
you are the greatest
I
mystery
remember this.
hunter when you beat it.
Okay.
Pig Pig Waddles Bounce Ultra has a few.
What?
The title screen says, a doodle from space.
What?
Beating the final
Okay.
bonus level gets you a message that says, every conspiracy is true.
Okay, that's
And
interesting.
if you get 200,000 points, you get a pop-up with a series of symbols and a
What did that
cryptogram
say?
that says, for a future Gravity Falls game.
Oh, that's
The symbols go to the
interesting.
password system to save your progress and unlock things
Oh.
across all these games.
Sorry, wrong
In the
code,
next
what?
game, Mabel's Doodle Blaster,
Oh, I
you
think
can
I
unlock
remember
a
this
password screen
game.
that says, for ultra big success, with the same code.
Yes.
It lets you play as Paper Jam Dipper. There's also
Interesting.
another cryptogram here that
Wait,
says,
what did that say?
send
Other-
in the clones. The same screen
don't know.
appears in the
Oh,
game
I see what-
Seuss's Confusing Adventure, and it
Okay.
unlocks a bonus level.
Okay, for big.
But the star of this section is
That's
Rumble's
interesting.
Revenge.
Yeah, let's see what
This
this
was a
does.
beat 'em up based on the episode
I
where Dipper
remember
summoned the
I
fighting game
remember this
character Rumble
game.
McSkirmish. There are 12 Caesar ciphers sprinkled throughout the game that translate to one
That's
long message.
interesting.
I bet you're wondering who I am.
Yeah, what?
I don't give
All
up
puzzles
answers
look
easy.
like this. I am
I
not
know
hunting
things.
down
Fascinating
Super
things.
Buggy Epiline.
Your reality is a game to me. And I like
yes.
games.
Me too.
Mischief is my middle name, but not my first.
Bill Mischief
There are 6
Cipher.
hints I will give you.
What?
1.
Yeah,
There is
what?
a secret society in Gravity Falls.
Yes. Okay.
2. The handyman knows more than you think.
Okay.
3. Gideon has been searching for something.
What?
4. What goes up is sure to come down.
Yes.
5. Dipper is playing with fire.
Okay.
6. I will be returning to Gravity Falls.
Oh, okay.
Everything is in lowercase, except for a few capital letters that spell out, My name is Bill.
is Bill.
This is Bill talking to
Interesting.
the audience directly.
Oh.
This game came out before the finale, so
That's
some of this is
interesting.
referencing stuff that already happened, but it's also giving us hints about next season.
Yes.
They're all pretty vague, but still
Whoa,
cool.
what? That's interesting.
The last game is Pine's Quest,
Pine's
and it's a
Quest.
direct sequel to Rebel's Revenge, picking
Yes.
up right where the story left off.
Yes.
At the beginning of the game, you
I've
can
seen
talk
this
to
game
this
before.
fortune teller machine that
Yeah.
says a bunch of
That looks like
lines with
Bill
random
Cipher.
capital letters. The capital letters
Come
spell,
find me.
Come find me. This refers
Okay.
to the secret bills hidden across the game.
That's interesting.
If you find them all, beating the game will give you a cryptogram that says,
Okay.
Old Man McGee
Old Man
knows.
No. Oh,
Ooh,
that's
now
interesting.
that's interesting.
It is interesting.
Old Man McGucket?
Yeah.
What does he know?
Yeah, what does he know? Dipper and Mabel's Guide to Mystery and Non-Stop Fun. Oh, I remember that
There was
book.
also a book that came out during this
Yeah,
time.
I have that book.
Dipper and Mabel's Guide to Mystery and Nonstop Fun. It has a bunch of notes and stories written
I
by Dipper
remember
and
that.
Mabel, with the premise that they found this empty book in the Mystery Shack attic and started writing in it.
So whatever
the
it
back
took- I
cover
remember
starts a
this.
tradition that carries over into
Yes,
almost
I
all
rem-
future books, where the blurb has a bunch of highlighted letters that spell something out.
Yes,
This one spells
remember
out,
this.
"Let the games
Let-
begin."
Yeah, I've seen this before.
Dipper mentions in the book that he thinks it might be cursed. And sure enough, we get a section partway through where Bill interrupts to talk
Yes.
to us directly.
Yes.
Where he says, among other things, I bet
I
you
bet
can't
you
even
can't
figure out the code that I've hidden throughout this book.
Yes.
Come on, Alex Hirsch. You think this reverse psychology trick to get children to play your little puzzle game is going to work on me?
I love that.
Yes, the
Yes,
answer is
it
yes.
did.
On a bunch of the pages throughout, there are writings in
Yes,
this
I've
symbolic
seen this
language.
before.
Believe it or not, this isn't the same as the author's secret language,
Well, what?
even though they look exactly the same at a glance.
Yes, what?
From here on out, I'll be calling the old one the author's cipher.
Oh, okay.
And this one,
Bill's
Bill's
cipher.
cipher.
Good idea.
Not Bill Cipher, Bill's cipher.
Yes, good
Fortunately,
idea.
unlike the author's cipher, we don't have to use brute force to figure this out.
Okay.
The book comes with this certificate, apparently from Dipper,
better-
congratulating
the
you for
bearer-
completing his course of mystery solving.
Or, I don't know what that says.
But if you look at the edges, there's a
Or what?
really long message in Caesar cipher.
What?
Decoding it gets you the following.
Whoa.
By signing this official document,
Well,
you are
what the-
hereby agreeing to dedicate your life, your afterlife, and any potential clone lives to the discovery, uncovery, is that a word?
No, I
and
don't think
exploration
so.
of the paranormal, the supernatural, the ultra average,
Okay.
and the extra usual.
I think the word you're looking for
When
is
friends ask
recovery.
you to stop being paranoid, you will
Why
scoff.
are some of the
When they say
the
that
letters
you've been
in
acting really weird
uppercase?
since you read that book, and they
What?
don't even recognize you anymore.
What?
That means they're jealous. You're
What?
like me now. We are part of a
What?
higher calling.
Okay.
We will meet one day, and on that glorious day, we will show the
Okay.
small-minded doubters that we were right all along.
Okay.
And are also really cool. And they should have been nicer to us.
What?
Okay, that's about it. This sort of sounds like a supervillain manifesto in retrospect,
Okay.
but you get the gist.
Yeah, kind of.
You'll notice that some random letters are capitalized.
Yeah, I did.
And if you put them together, you get the URL
Disney-
disneyxd.com/aren'tyouklever.
Okay.
Going to that web link, which you can still do today with the Wayback Machine,
Okay.
gets you this image, telling you
Ooh,
which
that's
symbols in Bill's
interesting.
code go to which letter.
Okay.
The code on the top and bottom says, "You're not as dumb
You're
as
not
you
as
seem.
dumb as you seem."
I've got secrets if you know where to look.
Okay.
The people of this town are an open book."
Oh, that's interesting.
Now we can translate all these codes in the book.
Dipper.
They read as follows. Dipper wrote a theme song for himself and sings it in the shower.
Yeah, I read that before.
After nightmares, Mabel meows herself back to sleep.
What?
Seuss keeps candy in his belly button for emergencies.
Okay.
Stan was a baby model. The mayor of
I love
Gravity
these.
Falls is not long for this world.
What?
Wendy wishes she lived in Portland.
What? Why?
The end of the world is closer than the end of the summer.
Oh, that's interesting.
Something strange is buried under Gravity Falls.
Oh, what?
Time
what,
Baby
what
is
that?
worried about Bill.
That makes sense.
Bud Gleeful, that's Gideon's dad, wants
Oh.
to run for mayor. McGucket has
Understandable.
seen terrible things.
Yes, he has.
Brenda will marry Rich.
What?
That burnt tree by Seuss's house is odd.
What?
Seuss writes fanfics about Stan. The gnomes
This is
have a
ridiculous.
clear view of Northwest Manor.
These are ridiculous.
Dipper and Mabel's father worked in computers.
What?
Robbie secretly draws anime.
What?
The invisible wizard keeps untying Dipper's shoes.
Understandable.
The government can be forgetful.
Yes.
And growing up is optional. Again,
kind
a lot
of.
of these are just jokes, but there are some big hints about future episodes in here. If you've seen season 2, you know what it means by Brenda marrying Rich,
Oh,
and the
that's
mayor.
interesting.
The burnt tree by
Oh.
Sousa's house references a scene later where a time agent shoots
I get it.
Here's more
Bobby.
reference to McGucket knowing something. As far as I know,
Okay.
this was the only time we get any info about Dipper and Mabel's parents. And the end of the world.
Okay.
That sounds like a big deal.
Sorry. Yeah, that
As
makes
for all
sense.
the other codes in the book, Gideon writes a letter to Mabel from jail with an acrostic code
Hello,
that says,
dearest
"Help me
Mabel.
escape or be
Help
destroyed."
me- Oh, that's
The
interesting.
address has numbers that say, jail, zip.
Okay.
There's a whole section where Dipper explains how all the different cryptograms work.
Okay.
And the practice codes he writes here say, "I can trust you, right?
Oh, that's
Do
interesting.
you think Wendy likes me? Trust no one."
Oh,
Robbie
that's
is a jerk.
interesting. Okay.
This is way more fun than going outside. And
Understandable.
to get back at Mabel, Candy, and Grenda for their tickle attack, I'm going to put peanut butter in their socks. I really appreciate that this is here, because,
Okay.
like, I just use the internet
That's
to figure this out.
interesting.
But if a kid without open internet access has this book,
Okay.
they can solve all the codes from the show on their own.
How?
This page says backwards message a bunch of times,
Okay.
and this compass on the map of the town says
What does that say?
weird magnet.
Yeah, interesting.
And that's everything that came out in between seasons. Our hypothetical superfan in 2014 has decoded everything and has some general hints at what's to come without
Okay.
spoiling anything huge.
What is it? Season 2 cryptograms. Okay, let's see what the Season 2 cryptograms are.
Plot-wise, Season 2 starts off with a bang as Stan activates
Yes.
this device using the 3 journals.
It did.
And we see that it is, in fact, a portal.
Yes.
Stan also
it's
puts on a
portal.
6-fingered glove, implying that the author used this stuff.
Oh, that's
A major plotline
interesting.
early in the season pays off all the clues about McGucket and Blind Eye. Dipper
yeah, I
finds out
remember
that
this.
McGucket was involved with the author and the
That's
journal
interesting.
somehow.
Property.
There's a
yes.
fake out where we think
I
McGucket
remember
wrote
this.
the journal.
Yes, I've seen
And in
this
episode
before.
7, Dipper discovers the Society of the Blind Eye.
Yes.
A group of people who erase the memories of anyone who comes across anything supernatural in the town.
Yes,
It's
I've seen
revealed that
this
McGucket
before.
used to be the author's assistant, but whatever he went through was so horrible that he erased his memory.
Yes, I've seen
When
this
I
before.
watched the show for the first time, I felt like the
That's
Society of the Blind Eye felt kind of off.
Yes.
They feel important, like they should be a much bigger deal, but they're
Yes.
only in this one episode.
Yes.
Now I know why. All
What?
this is a payoff to the fans who found all the messages about them, even if they
Okay.
don't impact the plot much.
Yes.
And in the big reveal episode, Not What He Seems, we finally learn the truth.
Oh,
that
right,
Stan was
I remember
activating
this.
the portal to try and save his twin brother, the author of the
Yes.
journals.
Yes, I've
The
seen
character we've
before.
been calling Stanford is actually Stan Lee, and Stanford is his twin.
I remember this.
The next episode shows through flashbacks how Stanford came to Gravity Falls to study
Yes.
weirdness, where he
I
met
remember
Bill
this.
Cipher. And Bill tricked him into building a portal to let him come into this dimension.
Oh, I
When
remember
Stanford
this.
realized Bill was evil, he called his brother Stanley to help him destroy the portal. But they
Yes.
ended up fighting, accidentally turning the portal
Uh-oh.
on,
Oh, I
and
remember
Stanford
this.
got sucked in.
No.
Stanley also burned his back on this part of the
Oh,
machinery,
so that's
which is
what
how he got
happened.
his tattoo. From then on
Okay.
out, Stanley turned Stanford's lab into the Mystery Shack and
Okay.
lived there using
Informing
Stanford's
of
name.
Zeus.
Now we understand what these notes from the author meant early on.
Yes.
Season 2 has way more cryptograms that are way more complicated compared to Season 1. There could be multiple messages in an episode that could use any of the ciphers. Caesar, @A1Z26, the combined cipher with all 3 of them, and the
Author's
authors and
cipher,
Bill's
Bill's
ciphers.
cipher. Okay.
And also, there's a new
Visionaire.
one called a Visionaire cipher.
Yeah, what is
the
that?
new backwards message in the title sequence says,
Oh, okay.
this one's more complicated, but in short,
This is a lot of
it's
fun.
another kind of substitution cipher where you need a keyword to decode it.
Cat?
To solve it, take the keyword
Cat?
and convert it into numbers using A1Z26.
Okay.
Line it up with the cipher, repeating it if it's too short, and the numbers
Oh,
tell you how many letters in the alphabet you
that's
have to shift to
interesting.
get the answer.
Oh, that's
So for every
interesting.
Visionaire cipher,
That's
you need to
clever.
find 2 pieces. The cryptogram
Karaoke?
itself and the keyword.
Okay.
In the season
what was that?
premiere, the Visionaire code is Whittle. Here
Whittle?
it is in Gideon's cell. And the message it helps you translate is Welcome Back. Because
Welcome
there
back.
are so many ciphers this season, I'm going to group them by type of cipher instead of going in chronological order.
Oh,
starting
that-
with the
that's
Visionaire
right.
ciphers. I did
I
episode
was-
1 already. In episode 2,
into
the
the
keyword
bunker,
is
yes.
Shifter.
Shifter,
And
yes.
the message is, what kind of disaster indeed?
Yes, what?
In episode 3, the keyword is whatevs. And the message is, remember Big Henry.
Yes, I remember
In episode
this.
4, the keyword is cipher, and the
Yes.
message is a long one. We've all
Oh
had
my.
some fun tonight,
What is
but
going
let's
on
not
here?
forget who the real puppet masters are. Reptoids who have infiltrated our government.
Yes.
Episode 5, keyword Barrow,
Yes.
Message,
What?
anything can Hadflin.
I love
Episode
that.
6, keyword non-canon.
Oh, that's interesting.
Message, check
that?
out Dr. Waddle's latest book, A Brief History of Oink, 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 Oink.
What?
That's the episode with the non-canon what-if stories where
That-
Waddles is voiced by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, that's interesting.
Forgive me, my pig arms are cute and useless.
What?
Episode 7, keyword erase.
Erase,
Message,
okay.
ignorance is bliss, but bliss is boring. Episode 8, keyword capacitor.
Okay.
Message, don't do the time crime if you can't do the time.
I
Episode
love
9, keyword goat and a pig,
Goat and a
which is pretty
pig?
tricky to find, but if
Oh,
you look, it's spread across the
that's-
background here.
Interesting. That's
Message,
insane.
I eat kids.
Hey, kids.
Episode 10,
Remember this.
keyword cursed.
Oh, that's interesting.
Message, next up on UTB AHC.
What?
Did aliens write the Constitution?
What?
Crawdads and tiaras. And Florida, the show.
What?
Episode 11, the keyword is Stan's license plate. Stanley Mobile. And the
love
message
that.
is the original Mystery Twins.
Oh, that's interesting.
Episode 12, keyword Sixer.
Yes.
Message, Backups University. You
Okay.
tried.
What?
Episode 13, keyword Radmaster.
Okay.
Message, Excel C whatever. Episode 14, keyword Workin' It.
What?
Message,
Get him! Get him!
episode 15,
I love that.
keyword Schmendrick.
Okay.
Because this episode is The Last Mabelcorn, and Spendrick is a character from The Last Unicorn.
Okay.
The message is, a simple man with eager ears may trust the whispers that he hears.
Oh, that's interesting.
Episode 16, keyword Dopper, Dipper
Oh,
misspelled.
that's interesting.
Message, Seuss, like a noble golden retriever, eventually found his way homeward, and befriended a talking bulldog and a sassy cat along the way.
What?
Episode
love that.
17, keyword Blue Book.
It's there. Oh, I
Message,
see it.
did you miss me?
Yes.
And going into the
seen
four-part
this before.
finale, episode
three,
18,
depending on what.
keyword Still Bifer. Message,
Bifer.
it will take 1,000 years for Time Baby's molecules to reconstitute. And when he's back,
Okay.
he's going to be very cranky.
Oh my goodness.
Also, the title of the episode, Weird Mageddon, is sometimes
Weird
written as this,
Yeah,
which
what?
translates to Weird Mageddon
I've
when you
seen
use
this
the
before
keyword
from
Blue
the-
Book. This was apparently done to hide spoilers. Episode
Okay.
19, keyword Dippy Fresh. Message, Kraz and Zyler went on to run the legal department at a major children's television network.
What?
Then
okay,
the final
that's
episode had a
interesting.
few. First, keyword Shacktron.
What? I can't see that.
Message,
Whatever.
Seuss later forced McGucket to watch all 900 hours of Neon Crisis Mechabot Boy
What?
Revelations. Then, keyword, hidden deep within the woods, a buried treasure waits.
Oh, there it is.
Message, secrets lost and statues found
don't
beyond
see
the
it.
rusty gates.
Okay.
By the way, that keyword, it's not written anywhere in the show that we
Yeah,
know
where
of.
is it?
Fans just brute forced it until they found something that worked.
I didn't see.
And
oh,
at the
that's
very,
interesting.
very end, keyword, axolotl.
Okay.
Message, goodbye Gravity Falls.
Yes, I've seen that before.
Alongside that, at the end of every episode, there's a quick frame of a journal page with
Yes,
a combined cipher
that's
message. Which, if you remember, means that you have to use the A1Z26 cipher, then @bash, then Caesar -3.
Oh, okay.
In order, episode
get it.
1. The man downstairs is very clever. Can he hide his plans forever?
I don't think so.
Episode 2. Improper use of machinery could lead to utter catastrophe.
True.
3. Old man sleeping on the green. Can't help but wonder what he's seen.
Oh, okay.
4. No puppet strings can hold me down, so patiently I watch this town.
What?
Abnormal soon will be the norm. Enjoy the calm before the storm.
That's
5.
creepy.
Winning hearts by daylight, possessing robots by moonlight. Her emotional baggage is a real
Wait,
fright.
why does that
She has
sound-
the one name Giffany, a parody of the Sailor Moon theme song. 6.
What?
All animation is black magic. 7.
Okay.
Gideon's tantrums,
saw Sailor Moon
misspelled
before.
tattoos, Chandra's rejections, society's views.
What?
A fear of witches, a life of regret.
I don't understand
These
any
are the
of
things
this.
that they try to forget.
Oh, okay.
8.
That makes sense.
Join the Time Paradox Avoidance Enforcement Squadron. Great hours, solid benefits. Sign up yesterday.
Yeah.
9.
I love that.
At the play or at the fair. I always see them standing there.
Huh?
Dressed in black, they're on my lawn.
What?
But when I turn my head, they're gone. 10.
What?
Stan is
What is
not
that
what he
supposed to be?
seems 3 times.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm starting to think that this Stan fellow might not be what he seems.
Understandable.
11. 30 years and now he's back. The mystery in the mystery shack.
Oh, that's interesting.
12. A stubborn, tough New Jersey native, Phil
Okay.
Brick, wasn't too creative. Having
Yes.
twins was not his plan, so he just shrugged and named both Stan. 13.
That makes sense.
Fun and games are great distractions, but small things can have chain reactions.
Oh, that makes sense.
14.
Interesting.
Be wary of whom you belittle. Big problems can start out whittle.
What?
15. In Cypher's game, he needs a pawn. Be sure to know which side you're on.
Oh, that's interesting.
16. Carla McCorkle returned all his flowers. Marilyn divorced him after only 6 hours.
What?
Beatrice slapped him for being a cad. Old Goldie's the best girlfriend Stan ever had. 17.
I love that.
The prophecy seemed far away, but finally, we've reached the day.
Okay.
Give up the past, embrace the strange. Everything
Yes.
you care about will change.
Oh, that's interesting.
18. Game is over, and I won. Now it's time to start the fun.
Yes.
I always love corrupting lives. Now let's see which pine survives.
Oh, okay.
19. When one gets trapped inside the past, dreams can turn to nightmares fast.
Understandable.
20. 10 symbols placed around a wheel. Hand in hand, they'll bond the seal.
Yes.
But break the chain and pay the cost.
Yes.
The prophecy will all be lost.
Yes, I understand.
And the last one. Faded pictures bleached by sun. The tale's told, the summer's done.
Yes.
In memories, the pines still play.
Yes.
On a sunny summer's day.
Yeah, they do.
Also, if you put all these pages together,
Whoa,
you can make a
that's
picture of Stan and Fork.
interesting. Wow, impressive.
There are also a lot more messages in the author's code. Most of them appear on pages of the journals. Episode 2 has
Okay.
one that says, Am I me? Is he me?
That's
And
interesting.
Ice Ice Baby.
That's
Episode 7 has
I
one
love
that
that.
says, If my suspicions are correct, this is the work of Fiddleford.
Okay.
Does he really have to go through such great lengths to forget?
What?
Episode
That-
11
yeah,
says,
understand. That makes sense.
My compass
kinda.
goes haywire the closer I get to them. Does this mean what I think it does? The answer may be underground.
Okay.
Episode
I don't know
15
what that
says, Black and White.
Oh,
A
that's
message
interesting.
carved into the cave wall also says,
Oh, right.
It started with bad dreams, which
What?
became
Whoa.
nightmares. I was foolish. I wanted answers.
What?
I painted the
Sick.
symbols.
What?
I said the words. When gravity
does that
falls
say?
and the earth becomes sky, fear the
What?
beast with just one eye. There's
That's
also Ford's
interesting.
chalkboard, which has a bunch of scrambled notes in letters,
What
numbers,
does that?
and
What
these
does all
symbols.
this say?
You
Oh,
can
there
make
it
out the
is.
words think and liar,
liar.
alongside a bunch of meaningless individual symbols. Now for all the scattered
Okay.
other messages in the season.
Okay, let's see
In
what those
episode
are.
1, there are 2 separate codes that say search for the
Search
and
for the-
flag.
Flag.
And there are 3 Caesar
Interesting.
ciphers that say why is Wendy so perfect, watch out,
What?
and kill me please.
What?
Episode
Yeah, I've seen
2
those
has our
before.
first message in
the
binary
actual
code.
book.
It says put all 6 pieces together. As an extra
Interesting.
hint to help you with the pages from Dipper's Guide to the Unexplained.
Oh,
Episode
that's
4,
interesting.
an Atbash cipher in the journal that says pure energy, like skin and bone, rising like the shepherd tone.
What?
There's also a piece of paper
That's
that lists the
interesting.
first 4 Visionaire cipher keywords in Caesar
Oh,
cipher.
right.
Whittle, shifter, whatevs, and barrow.
That's interesting.
Episode 5 has another binary message that says
What the-
Space Jam 2.
That's not where it
Huh,
is.
Okay.
The-
I
oh,
guess it had
whatever.
just been announced when this episode was in production.
What?
In episode 11, the license plate on the government vehicles are
Okay.
Caesar ciphers for government.
Government.
Episode 17 introduces us to the UFO that crash landed in Gravity Falls many years ago.
Yes, I remember
There
this.
are messages all over the inside of it written in Bill's cipher. They say, Betty and Barney were here,
What?
probability drive engine, probatorium,
Oh,
Blurt,
I
Bluff,
wondered
and
what
Beyond,
those things said.
used Thetans half price,
Who?
and
I don't know.
specimen has escaped, is changing
They're
forms.
probably this thing. Yeah.
In the Weird Mageddon finale intros, any instance of the phrase gravity falls gets replaced
Yes.
with a Caesar cipher version of it instead.
Oh, that's interesting.
There were a few more times where characters talk backwards. In episode
Yes.
14, Gideon takes over his dad's mind with a backwards spell.
Yes. Prison break. Oh, that's interesting. Oh my goodness. I forgot about that.
Anything but that!
Yeah. Spooky evil spells, spooky spells.
Spooky evil spells! Spooky spells! Spooky spells!
That's
There are 2
interesting.
times where McGucket says this,
Your
one
rules are
backwards,
severe.
one not.
Okay.
What is it? Is it working? What
Oh
did
my
you
goodness,
see?
I love that. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, so that's what it said. I love that.
That still sounds like gibberish.
Yes.
But you can put it through an Atbash cipher to see that he's saying
Bill Cipher Triangle. That's
I already
interesting.
covered the ones in the title sequences that tell you how the ciphers work,
Mabel.
but there are a few
I love
more.
that. Yeah,
In the
what?
episode Not What He Seems, the backwards voice says, not what he
Not
seems.
what it seems, yeah. Not what it seems, yeah. I
Also,
remember that.
in each part of the finale, there's a different clip of Bill saying something backwards.
Yes, what? I love that. I love that.
Then, the big one. To
What did it
recap the
say?
ending of the show, when Stanley reactivated the portal, he created a tear in dimensions that Bill could get through.
Oh,
Ford
okay.
contained it in this thing, but Bill tricks Mabel into giving it to him.
Oh,
so
my-
Bill comes into this dimension and
Yes.
starts taking over the world.
Oh, I remember
But they
this.
defeat him by tricking him into going inside Ford's mind. Except it was
Okay.
actually Stanley dressed as him.
Oh,
they then
that's
use the mind wipe
interesting.
gun to erase Stanley's memory, and Bill with
Oh,
it.
I get it.
But as Bill gets defeated, he starts talking backwards.
Yes,
and he
this
says,
it's the backwards message.
What's happening to me?
Yeah, this. I remember this. AXOLOTL. My time has come to burn. My linkage empowered that I may return. That's interesting.
So I ask again, after decoding every message in the show itself,
Okay.
what new information can it tell us that we don't get from watching the show normally? Well,
Yes,
still,
what-
almost
what-
every message decodes to
I
a
remember
joke,
this.
a reference to some other piece of media, or information we already know.
I
I'll admit that I know way more about Stan's love life now, but there's not a whole lot here.
love
Except
that.
for a small
5
handful of
hours
weird
of-
and suspiciously specific
Legal
lines.
acts, mystery.
There were
what?
multiple references to an axolotl.
Yes.
And what was that about buried treasure hidden in the woods?
What?
Is
yeah,
Bill
what?
really dead? Or did this axolotl help him survive this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Those are the
Very
questions
interesting.
rattling around in our heads as we explore more Gravity Falls media that came out after the show
Nothing to
ended.
see here,
The
folks.
show's over, but we're not even close to done.
Oh yeah, there's still 2 hours remaining. So let's see what else
The
is
most
there.
high-profile piece of secondary
Oh,
Gravity Falls
I
media
have
is
this
the
book.
real-life journal number 3.
Yes, I have
This is a pretty
book.
faithful adaptation of the journal we see in the show, full of Ford's writings on the weirdness of Gravity Falls.
Yes.
It's so cool getting to read these as first-hand accounts after only hearing them summarized.
Yes, I've
The coolest
seen
part
them
is seeing the
before.
progression of Ford meeting Bill and
That was
slowly
such a good
realizing
book.
that something is wrong. He starts off calling Bill his muse and praising
Yes.
him for all the help he's given. But then
Bill
things
can't
get
be
weirder.
trusted.
Bill tells him to build
Yes.
a portal.
Okay.
And he makes a contract to let Bill control his body while sleeping so
Yeah,
he can
that
be more
makes sense.
productive. Eventually, after he builds
My
the portal,
immune
he realizes
monster.
what's going on and freaks out. We know how things go after that. After this, the journal picks up with
That makes
Dipper's
sense.
notes that he took across the series.
Yes, I've seen
Then when
this
Ford
before.
comes back, he picks up where he left
I'm
off,
back.
recording what he saw in the portal, and talks about stuff that happened towards the end of the show. And the book ends
Yes.
with a recap of the series finale by everyone
Oh,
involved.
Yes, that makes sense.
There are some minor continuity issues. Like, I
Understandable.
feel like Dipper would have commented on this page in the show at some point, but it lines up reasonably well with the story we know.
Yeah.
So, let's crack all these codes
Okay.
because there's a ton of them in here.
Yes, what's
Starting
this
with
all
the
about?
blurb and the dust jacket, like every book in this franchise, certain letters are highlighted
Okay.
to spell something out. In this one, the letters in blue spell "Stay Weird."
Stay weird.
Below that is a message in Bill's cipher that says, "Buy this book."
Buy this book, yes.
I'll breeze through the easy
Okay.
codes first.
Okay, let's
The book
see
has a
what you
bunch of
got.
simple Caesar ciphers written by Ford. There's a page where he talks about how he wants to keep certain things secret, so he
Uh-huh.
records them in code.
What?
So let's find all those.
Why does what? Why
We
does he
see
wanna
all
keep
the
it
same
secret?
pages that were shown in the show with the same codes on them that I already
Yes.
covered. So I won't do them again here.
Yeah, that makes
On the
sense.
spells page, creepier than zombies, local funeral director Victor Valentino and his son, Greggy V. That's
Oh, wait,
Robbie's dad and granddad.
Oh,
On the
that's
truth-telling
interesting.
teeth page, after Ford mentions that his mailman is abnormally hairy, the code says 90% sure he's a werewolf.
I remember
Written
that.
under Ghost Category 1 is creepily whispered, "Can I keep you?" Horrifying.
Yes, I remember this.
Under Category 9, the Dream Hipster, he wrote, "I prefer dreams with my muse." He told me that
Okay,
gum I
but-
like is going to come back into style.
What?
On the page with the island head beast, he
Understandable.
wrote, "I still recall that one summer Stanley and I hunted for the Jersey Devil in the Pine Barrens.
What is this?
Mom and Dad never believed that we really saw one."
Oh, that's interesting.
On the page where Bill first appears to Ford in person, he wrote, "My muse has warned me that my assistant may not be committed to the
Oh,
cause.
that's interesting.
He thinks that F, Fiddleford, is not bold enough to follow through.
Oh,
I worry he
that's
might be right." There's a
pretty
whole bunch on
interesting.
the page with the blueprints for the portal. Calibrate the oscillator to 618.
Oh, that's
Charge
interesting.
Klux capacitor. Binary for the letter J.
I get it.
Access whistle in World 1 to warp to World 2, 3, or 4.
Oh, that's
Enter
interesting.
security code
What?
Emmerich.
Okay.
Oasis 153.4. Chasm 130.3.
Okay.
Clock Tower 55.6. Crystal Forest
Yes.
15.0.
Yes.
Underground Tunnel 212.2.
Okay.
And the order of the marker switches is on page 158.
Oh,
Those
that's
last two had me
interesting.
pulling my hair out wondering what they meant.
Yeah, what do
but
they mean?
apparently they're referencing the video game Myst.
Miss. Oh,
Getting into the
I might
section
play that
after
game
Ford
someday.
came back, he wrote under Mabel's page, "As the famous Pine's hair curls." There's a big chunk where Ford
love
describes
that.
everything he saw while inside the portal. And in the Lotacron 9 section,
That's
he wrote,
interesting.
I won my infinity die here.
What?
This page has binary
Oh,
code for the letter C for
C?
some reason.
Okay.
And on the page on the UFO, written after he visited it with Dipper,
Okay.
Ford wrote, perhaps the ship was on a mission to catalog strange biological specimens.
Okay.
Could the high volume of weirdness on board have drawn the ship to GF? Oh yeah, I've
Gravity
been meaning to
Falls.
bring that up. The
Oh,
UFO
right.
is a dangling plot thread that I really want to see more of.
Oh,
Did they
that.
cause Gravity Falls weirdness, or were they just drawn to it like
I
Ford
remember.
said?
I
And
remember
what's their
this.
connection to Bill, considering that they seem to use the same language as him?
Oh,
I don't know.
right.
We'll
That's
see if anything comes
interesting.
out of that. Then on the big black page where Ford is freaking out,
Okay.
interdimensional chess isn't fun when you're a pawn. The devil has a silver tongue.
That makes sense.
If Icarus could see me now.
What?
And 618.
Yes. that makes
618
sense.
is a number that pops up a lot. It was the production code for
right.
the show.
Yes,
and it's
I
Alex
heard
Hirsch's
this.
birthday.
June
Finally,
18th.
Ford finds a letter in code by Blendin Blandin.
What is this?
It's written
So-
to Dipper and Mabel after the events of the show, which
What
at the
happened?
time Ford knew nothing about. It's written in a Visionaire cipher with the keyword pines.
Let's see.
As a refresher, after the first time they met him and stole his time tape,
What does it
he got
say?
arrested by the time police.
Yes.
Then in Blendin's
Alright,
game,
I remember
he
this.
challenged them to Globnar to win his freedom, and lost. But the
And
twins
lost,
freed him anyway.
understandable.
Then
Yeah,
Bill
that makes
took over
sense.
his body to trick Mabel into giving him the rift.
Oops.
And in the finale, he called the time police on Bill, but it
Yeah.
backfired and Bill killed the time
Oh,
baby.
right. I remember
Here's
this.
what Blendin got up to during and after that, according to this letter.
Okay,
Hey
let's see
Dipper
what
and
it
Mabel,
says.
Blendin here.
Oh.
I'm currently living in the year 1883, and I hid this letter in hopes that it would
1883,
one day reach
that was
you.
years ago.
I got the idea from the movie Return Backwards to the Past Again 3, which is
That's
required
40
viewing
years
for Time
ago.
Academy freshmen. You've probably got a lot of questions, and after the events of Weirdmageddon, man, I don't blame you. So here's what happened.
That's more than
After
40
Globnar,
years ago.
I was getting
like-
a lot of flack for losing a gladiator
Wait,
fight
actually,
to two
that's-
children. Even
Wait,
though
that's actually 42 years ago. That's insane.
I got my job back. Thanks for that, by the way.
Right.
My fellow
Got it.
officers kept calling me hurtful nicknames. Time Baby himself
Understandable.
called me No Friend in Blandon.
Oh,
Do you know what
that's
it's
hurt.
like to live like that? Just as I was
Kind of.
thinking I would give anything for Time Baby's respect, this weird
Okay.
triangle guy showed up in my dreams and said that he would make sure the Time Baby never bothered me again.
That's
All I had to
interesting.
do was shake his hand. I've
Wait, what?
never been great at making
Wait,
decisions under
wait.
pressure, and, well, you know the rest.
Kind of.
When I awoke, that stupid
Understandable.
triangle had used my body to travel through time and
Oh,
destroy the entire
that-
universe.
I remember
and Time
this.
Baby, too.
Yes.
Luckily, Time Baby isn't dead, exactly. It will take 1,000 years for his molecules to
Oh, I
reconstitute.
remember this.
And when they do, boy, is he gonna be cranky. The Time Agents
Understandable.
also survived. They only send their hollow projections out on dangerous missions.
Okay.
But Lolf and Dundgren were furious about what I did.
Oh, that
Of
makes
course,
sense.
this means that there is a dimension-wide manhunt of agents trying to find me and bring me
What?
to justice. But it was all a mistake. The
Understandable.
last thing I want is to go back to jail. So I've been hiding out in the past.
Okay.
It was fun for a while, seeing the sights, chatting with historical figures,
Oh, that makes sense.
visiting the 50s to try to learn the twist. I accidentally twisted my ankle and couldn't walk for a week.
Oops.
I wanted to check out the Old West, too, but when I traveled here, I accidentally appeared right in front of a train, and my
What?
time tape was shattered into 50 pieces.
Oh, no.
Also, I think the train might have gone off the rails. Hopefully that isn't in the history books. Anyway, I just wanted to say, not to
Oh, I'm
worry
just
about
glad
me.
you're safe.
I managed to blend into the populace,
Oh, so
and I got
that's
a
what
job
it
as
is.
a pocket watch repairman. I've also
Oh,
caught
that's
one of
nice.
those cool Gold Rush era diseases that are so popular in these times, and I am loving the nostalgia.
Understandable.
Thanks for all your help.
Understandable.
And if any time agents come looking for me, tell them you don't know nothing.
Okay.
Blendin, Blenjamin, Blandin, 1883.
That's interesting.
But these cryptograms were only a very small
lot of
portion
stuff.
of what's here. The real meat of
Okay.
the codes in this book come from these.
Yeah,
More
what are
messages in
those?
these made-up alien characters.
Okay.
Now, believe it or not, this is not the author's cipher, nor is it Bill's cipher.
What?
It's an entirely separate third code that uses these
What?
exact same or similar symbols.
Then
On
what is
this
the
page,
notes?
there's a handy decoder that translates each symbol to a number. From there, each number stands for a letter, A1Z26 style.
Yes.
And you get your decoded message. The fandom calls this one the Combined Substitution Cipher.
That's interesting.
Within the story of the journal, Bill is possessing Ford's mind and writing these things down to mess with him. Here's all of them in order. On the first page, I've been inside your mind, Sixer. I know your secrets.
Okay.
Under Gnomes, they're too dumb to possess. I've tried. On Ford's biography, birthday June 15th, death day sooner than you think. And little Kathy,
interesting.
what a dream, held her hand and made her scream.
What?
On the first page that mentions Bill, spying on you was a breeze. There are eyes inside the trees.
What?
On the bottomless pit page, some of this junk ended up in my dimension. On the history page,
That's
under the year
interesting.
1000, asked Shaman to build first portal. Big
Okay.
mistake.
Big
The thing was
mistake.
made out of twigs. Guy lit
Oh,
himself
that's
on fire
interesting.
to try to end my reign.
That's interesting.
Drama queen.
Okay.
On the page about the Northwest family, Don't care for Preston's face. Might fix it one day.
What? Oh, that, yes.
By the first mention of the portal, I'll get this puppy up and running one day, and neither Time Baby nor the big frilly know-it-all will stop me.
Oh, that.
Next to the entry about McGucket joining, one peek into my dimension and this bumpkin lost his weak little mind.
Okay.
All he saw was me removing my exoskeleton to feed. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen, Jack.
What?
On the codes page, I call this 4Ds, and
Okay.
the time you're wasting delights me.
What?
There's a page with the same decoder wheel that we see later, only it's all scrambled and full of gibberish.
Yes.
Where it says, "Never trust a witch. They'll curse your ear and turn you into an immortal goat, so I hear."
What?
After Ford makes the deal with Bill,
So
thanks for letting me
interesting.
borrow your body, Sixer. Enjoy the mystery bruises. Timeline-wise, all of these messages were written after this point, with Bill in
Okay.
Ford's body going back and writing messages on old pages.
That's interesting.
When Ford starts figuring out what's going on, fear the beast with just one eye.
Okay. What have I done?
Then, across the last handful of pages before the portal incident, "You snooze, you lose, pal. Don't you understand I'm only trying to free your dimension?
Ooh.
I ask you,
That's
why should time
interesting.
only move forward? Why must cause precede effect? Who voted on the laws of physics? Rules are perversions against all will.
That
That's
makes
why
sense.
I'm about to rewrite the whole system, buddy, and no one is going to stop me."
Are you sure
And
about that?
across all of these, symbols are highlighted in blue to spell out, "Curse the axolotl.
Curse the-
Every conspiracy is true."
What?
Bill stops making
The-
Ford
oh,
write
it's
these
the
after the
axolotl,
section
right.
is over. All that's left in this book is to decode these last few messages in Bill's cipher in the section where Ford talks about the dimensions he visited.
Okay.
The implication seems to be that this is the writing used by beings in other universes.
Okay.
On this wanted poster of Ford, it
What does that
says,
say?
"Return for bounty, armed and dangerous."
What?
But more interestingly, Rick was here.
What?
This seems to be a reference to Rick from Rick and Morty.
Oh,
the
that's
two shows have a
interesting.
history of crossing over, and it's implied
Oh,
that they're in the
okay.
same universe.
Oh,
Or
that.
multiverse.
I remember this.
There's a page where Ford visits a creature called the Oracle, where it
Oh, yeah.
says, "The opposite of Bill."
Okay.
Oh,
that's
and look,
interesting.
these are
Oh,
drawings of an axolotl.
Right. I forgot about that.
And on the page about the UFO, it says, "Some tiny alien specimens may have survived, perhaps
Okay.
hiding in the town in robots disguised as humans."
Oh, that's interesting.
If you want to go into this book and find
In order
all the
to
cryptograms
see.
yourself, you should know that there are also a
One
bunch
giant
of
head
weird
fake.
symbols and notations that don't seem to be any kind of
Yeah,
code.
what are those
They're
things?
just there for a flavor. Alex Hirsch has confirmed that the red boxes are just decoration.
Yeah.
And stuff like this or this
Yeah,
don't
what-
mean anything either.
Yeah, they don't mean anything.
Unless they do. Nope, stop. I can't be doing that. I have to move on or else I'll lose my mind.
Yes. What do
That's
they
the
mean?
end of the cryptograms in the journal.
Okay.
Kind of.
Kind of.
We're still not done with this
Serious.
book because we've only been reading the regular edition.
What?
There was a limited edition version that had extra messages in blacklight,
Oh,
like we saw in
I
the second
remember
season.
this.
Only 10,000 were made, and I don't own one because they sell for thousands of dollars.
I've never played.
The dust jacket
neither
has a
do
different
I.
highlighted message that says, "Lucky you."
Lucky you.
The
That's
floating eyeballs
interesting.
page has a Caesar cipher that says,
Oh.
"I often see strange things in the corner of my eye." New theory.
What?
Does the corner of your eye actually see an alternate plane of reality?
What?
The gnome page has a Visionaire cipher with the keyword Schmebulok.
Schmebulok.
You know, the name of the gnome who can only say the word Schmebulok.
Schmebulok.
Is Schmebulok all you can say?
Schmebulok.
Yes.
It says, "Mine is but a solitary existence. I read. I
Fate's
ponder.
gas source.
I
Okay,
stare
that's
at the
interesting.
heavens. Bounteous is our world, but cruel is the master of it, who condemned
Okay.
me to say but only my name.
That's interesting.
Perhaps my isolation is my gift, for it is only in separation from others that a mind can truly be free."
Okay. That makes sense.
The codes page has a Visionaire cipher with the keyword tricky that says,
Tricky. What?
"The most impossible thing to decode is human social behavior."
Okay.
On the page where Ford is losing his mind, he wrote in simple anagrams, "Please help me.
Please.
It's all over."
Is-
And trust no one.
Trust no one. Okay.
On the page where Ford comes back, he wrote, "Figure out what a silver
Figure out.
fox is and why everyone keeps calling me one."
What?
And the last page has a Caesar cipher that says, "We've been waiting for you."
Oh, that's interesting.
That was a long section,
True.
but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, cool. This next one's an easy one.
Dipper and Mabel and the Curse of the Time Pirate's Treasure. Oh, I know this book.
There's a Gravity Falls Choose Your Own Adventure book called Dipper and Mabel and the Curse of the Time Pirate's Treasure.
Yes, I know
A
this
select your
one.
own choose venture. It has exactly one code in it. In one
Yes.
storyline, Dipper and Mabel get in a spaceship and go to light speed. The story cuts off with this
I
Caesar
remember
cipher
this.
that translates to, "Shapes and colors whiz past.
Okay.
time itself seems to slow to a crawl.
Oh, that's
Blendin
interesting.
screams. Where are they going?
Yeah, where are they going?
www.disneyxc.com/a
A
wrong turn.
Interesting.
This hyperlink doesn't work anymore, but it's easy enough to find what it used to lead to. It takes you to an
what
image of
happened?
a secret page in the book where, oh, is that what I think it is? Finally, the axolotl.
It's an axolotl.
It's this godlike being on the edge of time and space.
What
Dipper
happened?
asks it, "What do you know about Bill Cipher?" And the axolotl
You're the
recites
one-
this poem. 60 degrees that come in threes.
Okay.
Watches from within birch
Oh, I
trees.
know this one.
Saw his own dimension burn. Misses
Okay.
home and can't return.
That's interesting.
Says he's happy, he's a liar.
Oh.
Blame the arson for the fire.
That's interesting.
If he wants to shirk the blame, he'll have to invoke my name. One way to absolve his crime, a different form, a different time. Oh, that's interesting.
That's interesting.
From this
Yeah,
poem,
it is
we learn
interesting.
that Bill caused the destruction of his own dimension somehow, and that he had
Okay.
some kind of deal with the axolotl that let him escape blame by saying its name, which
That's
is what we saw in the
interesting.
finale, I assume. And doing so apparently transforms him into a different form, a different time.
What?
This is
Oh,
really starting to get spicy.
It
Finally,
is.
we're learning more about the lore.
That's interesting.
Let's see if we can find anything
Oh,
else
wait.
in this next book.
All right, that. Gravity Falls Lost Legend. Oh, I know this one.
This is a graphic novel broken up into 4 separate stories. This book is generally regarded as the thing that's closest to capturing the magic of the TV show.
Yes.
And I agree.
I remember this.
This is like
True.
having 4 extra episodes just in comic form.
It is cool.
I have a
isn't it?
hunch everyone here has a price.
Yes, I've seen that
We're
video
going to need
before.
disguises. Quick! We need to cover ourselves in garbage so we blend in! What? You don't want to be eaten by monsters, do you?
Fine. Like this?
I just
said that to see if you'd do it.
Oh, you are so dead.
In Face It,
I remember this.
Dipper and Pacifica fight a monster that steals people's faces.
Yes,
in
that makes
Comics
sense.
Up, Stan gets stuck in a comic book. In Don't Dimension It, Mabel gets stuck in another dimension full of other Mabels.
Yes, that makes
And
sense.
in Pine Bros Mystery,
Yes,
the young Stan
I've
solve
seen
a
this book
mystery and
before.
fight the Jersey Devil. Hey, wasn't there a code somewhere that mentioned that?
Yeah, there was.
The highlighted message in the blurb says, "Welcome back."
Okay.
And real tiny on the first page, there's a Caesar
What does
cipher
that
that
say?
says, "A fandom's work is never done. So here's some tales just for fun. You wanted more? You got your wish. Don't stress. It's only canon-ish." Which brings up an important point. This book,
Interesting.
and all of the books so far, can be a little awkward to fit into the canon.
Different vibes.
The show had a really strict timeline, so there's not really a time
That's
where Lost
interesting.
Legends stories could take place.
Okay.
But honestly, who cares? Those kinds of details don't affect the experience at all. And it doesn't invalidate
what do those
anything we
say?
can learn here.
I see.
Interestingly,
something.
the framing device of these stories are that they're narrated by Shmebulok. He can only say his own name, except for one night every 1,000 years.
Yeah,
A
what
throwaway
happened?
justification to make this work. He's apparently
That's
a Gravity
interesting.
Falls superfan. On his
What?
corkboard here, we can see cryptograms that say, "Dip clones plot revenge,"
Oh, that's interesting.
"Wendy's mom," "In
Hello?
another dimension,"
Oh,
and
yes.
"Age paradox," "Time travel connection."
yes. What?
On this intro page, there's a message on the side of this table, and it looks like a Visionaire cipher, but we don't
That's
have the keyword.
interesting.
Let's put a pin in that one until we find it.
Yeah. What
There's
is it?
only one Caesar cipher in the rest of the book. A note from Ford
What
on
does
the
that
journal
say?
page of Mr. What's-His-Face, and it translates to, "If he gets my face, Stanley has a spare." There's also a Morse code message that says, "A spider."
a spider. Yes.
All the rest of the codes are in Bill's substitution cipher.
I remember this.
To find,
To find.
he always has an ace up his sleeve and
That's
a face up
interesting.
his sleeve.
What?
Where's your axolotl now? Trembly was here.
Trembly was.
Join
I
our
know this.
Remembers Club.
That's interesting.
Puts the Bizarro
Oh,
in Bizarre.
remembers. I get it.
Freaky's delivery service.
What is that?
While you read this, I picked your pocket. Do not sell to Blendin.
That's interesting.
For a good time, call Shmebulok.
What?
Bill lives. For this
That's
one, you also have
interesting.
to unscramble the letters. Extra secrets,
Okay.
big and little, if you want to crack the riddle.
That's interesting.
I didn't vote for Bill.
What?
The axolotl is my co-pilot.
What?
These quarks don't run.
Oh.
Search.
Search. Okay.
It came from a strange rip and landed in
That
the
is
Pine
so-
Barrens.
What is that?
The web.
Pill.
And
What did that
H.G.
say?
Wells sucks
Whoops,
eggs.
sorry.
Blendin.
I don't know what
And
that
one
said,
more
whatever.
super important thing.
That's
At the end of the
interesting.
last story, there's a page with a song called The Ballad of the Stan Bros. If you look
Interesting.
along the edges of the page,
A,
you'll find
B,
symbols
C,
with
D,
letters
E,
attached.
F. Bill
This is a
Cipher.
key for solving Bill's cipher, in case you didn't already have it. On the last page, Shmebulok says there's an extra
Okay.
secret message. But
That's
right when he's about
interesting.
to say what it is, his curse comes back.
Yes,
So we'll have to figure it out
Shmebulok,
ourselves.
The end.
We can assume he means the code from the beginning
Okay.
that we couldn't crack.
Oh,
What's
that.
the keyword for this?
Yes.
Well, when I was reading off the other cryptograms,
Okay,
you might have noticed a
find it.
few random phrases that
Search
didn't make sense on their
the
own.
web.
But if we put them
Oh,
together,
okay.
we get to find
Find
a spider, search the web.
That's interesting.
That phrase is our Visionaire keyword.
Wow.
And decoding the message, we get Shmeb you unlocked.
Okay, that's
the heck does
that's
that mean?
interesting.
To find a
Duck, duck,
spider,
go.
how about we search the web?
Oh,
Googling
right.
Shmeb you unlocked brings you to this website.
That's interesting.
Clicking on each of
Shmeb
these
You
books
Unlocked.
brings
What?
you to profiles on characters from Lost Legends
That's
and parody
interesting.
newspaper comics with Gravity Falls characters.
Oh.
And each
That's
one of these
cool.
pages has another cryptogram written
Exploding
somewhere along
sandwiches
the
have
edge.
witches.
But none of the usual methods translate it, so this must be another Visionaire cipher. But we don't
Okay.
have a key for it. Man, this is getting deep. At
Yes,
this point,
it is.
we've had a code that led to 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 a code. And we're still not all the way through. Big, huge shout out to
Understandable.
that GF fan.
Oh,
who
this.
already made a video about this sequence of codes.
I've seen that
It
video
was a
before.
big help, and I'm trying to not just copy what he said there. We don't have enough information to solve these codes right now,
Understandable.
so we'll have to come back to them.
The DVD Blu-ray box set. Okay, that's interesting.
Yep, we're really in the weeds now. To be specific, this is the collector's edition sold by the
Oh,
company Shout
wow.
Factory. It
That-
comes with a
that's
whole
interesting.
extra disc of bonus features.
Interesting.
The regular edition sold in most stores doesn't have any of this cool stuff.
Okay.
With some of the other books and things, I've had to make do with online copies, but for this, I felt that it was important to track down a real physical copy.
Okay.
This
yeah,
is the
that's a
DVD
good idea.
version because these are out of print and the Blu-ray one sells for hundreds of dollars.
Oh my goodness.
Check out these first few cryptograms on the back.
Okay.
We've got our
welcome to
usual
Gravity
highlighted
Falls.
letters in the blurb that say, "Beware Cipher."
Wait, I didn't
This
see
code
that.
on the photo says, "Stay weird." And this one by the specs says, "A souvenir, is something grand. You hold the summer in your hand."
Okay, that's interesting.
It's hard to see, but on the bottom here it says, Pines forever. Also, not technically a cryptogram, but at the end of this copyright disclaimer, it says, Carlo, I've always loved you, but I've never had the guts to say it.
What?
Now here's the interesting part. The 7th disc has all the bonus features. If you
That's
watch the
interesting.
behind-the-scenes documentary called
Hi.
One Crazy Summer, there are these title cards for each of the 7 sections that each have a cryptogram under them.
The
They
order.
say,
Okay, that's interesting.
left at teeth,
Left at teeth.
left at checkers,
Left at check.
right at zoo,
What?
left at cryptograms,
What?
right at tattoo,
That's interesting.
right at clock,
That's
and right at stickers.
okay. That's
There's
interesting.
one more in The Hirsch Twins, which is an interview with Alex and Ariel Hirsch that
Okay.
says, left at triangles.
Left at
These are directions
triangles.
to find
Very
Easter eggs
fascinating.
other places on the DVD. If you see one of the objects mentioned in the menu and press
Okay.
left or right on your remote,
Yes,
you'll unlock
what
more
is
bonus
it?
clips.
Oh,
So for
that's
example, the first
interesting.
one, left at teeth. Go to promos
Left at
and then Mystery Shack, Shop at Home with Mr. Mystery, which were these promo shorts
Okay.
with puppet stand. Go to Deer Teeth and press left. Your
Deer
cursor will
Teeth
go up
or
to this
left.
hidden
Oh,
symbol. Select
that's
it, and it
interesting.
takes you to an interview by Alex Hirsch talking about why he always wears flannels. So let's go through the rest of them.
Okay.
Left at checkers. Go to promos,
Left at
and under Apocalypse Preppin',
Yeah, I've seen
promo
that
shorts
before.
with Puppet McGucket.
Okay.
Press left on the one called Checkers, and you'll find a bonus clip
Okay.
for the Hirsch Twins documentary.
There we go.
Right at Zoo. Go to Shorts, Mabel's Scrapbook,
Mabel's Scrapbook.
Petting Zoo, and there's
Okay.
miscellaneous bonus cut clips from One Crazy Summer. Left at
Okay, that's
Cryptograms,
interesting.
go to Promos, Old Man
This stuff
McGucket's
is very
Conspiracy Corner,
interesting.
more Puppet McGucket stuff,
Oh man.
Cryptograms, and you get more One
love
Crazy
that.
Summer clips. Right at Tattoo,
Okay.
go to Shorts,
Tattoo,
Dipper's
okay.
Guide to the Unexplained, Stan's Tattoo,
Okay.
and you'll find animators for the show drawing Dipper and Mabel.
Oh,
Right
that's
at Clock,
interesting.
go to Shorts, Fixin' It with Seuss, Cuckoo Clock,
Okay.
and you'll find the show's composer talking about the theme
What?
song.
What is this? This
Right
looks like
at Stickers, go to Shorts,
That's interesting.
Mabel's Guide to Life, Stickers, and there's a blooper reel
Okay.
for One Crazy Summer. Left at
Okay.
Triangles, go back to McGucket's Conspiracy Corner, go to Triangles,
Okay.
and there's another clip of the Hirsch Twins, where Ariel tries on her old sweater that inspired Mabel's.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's all 8 secrets from those clues. But if you've gotten this
Okay.
far, you know that you have to check
Yes.
everywhere.
Yes.
So
let's
if you
check
fool
everywhere.
around with the menus, pressing left and right on every single thing, sure enough,
Yes.
you'll find 4 more secrets.
Okay, let's go.
Going left on the Shorts menu brings
Okay.
you Alex Hirsch and Ian Worrell,
interesting.
the art director, drawing the Mystery Shack.
That's interesting.
The other 3 are where
Drawing the
things
Mystery
get
Shack,
really
that's
interesting. They're all clips of Bill Cipher talking to the audience directly.
Oh, that's
The first
interesting.
one is on Grunkle Stan's Lost Mystery Shack interviews. Promos where Puppet Stan interviewed Disney Channel stars.
Oh, hey.
Press left on Zendaya from Casey Undercover.
What?
You know, Zendaya
Oh, I remember
from
that
Casey
show.
Undercover.
Yes, I remember
and nothing
this
else.
show.
You get this clip.
For he's a jolly good fellow, he's pointy and scary and yellow. For he's
That's
a jolly
interesting.
good fellow, and he only has one eye.
Going
Well, that
right
was
on
interesting.
TV shorts, you get this really long one.
What? Just
Hey nerds, it's
Hello?
me, Bill Cipher.
Hi.
You clicked the wrong Easter egg, dummy. Now I'm inside your home. You're probably wondering, isn't Bill dead? Wasn't
Yeah,
he
what?
erased from Stanley's mind?
what?
Well, there's some fates worse than death, Jack.
Understandable.
My cosmic punishment for a millennia of crimes is to be trapped inside a box set where I have to
What?
relive every episode of this horrible summer for all
What?
eternity. Every overrated joke, every stupid plot line, every little gesture someone made into an animated GIF, all
What?
an endless hall of mirrors from which I have no escape. But there is a way out of here for me, and that's why I need your help.
Okay, let's go.
Cover one eye and repeat after me. Yeah, that means
What is
you.
it? Yes.
Ahem.
What is it?
Repeat. I, the human watching
I,
this
the
box set,
human-
do solemnly swear
I, the human...
to give over my mind to Bill Cipher
To give over
and
my
let him
mind...
possess my body to escape his cosmic punishment.
And let it get... Oh,
There! Surely
we
one
go.
of you was dumb enough to actually do it. I'll be seeing you electric-powered meat golems soon enough.
Okay.
And remember, reality is an
Let's
illusion.
just go.
Moon landing was an inside job. Chemtrails linked to Atlantis. Thank you for buying this and not just pirating it. Bye!
What?
That's fun. But what did he mean? We clicked on the wrong Easter egg.
Yeah, what did he mean by that?
That brings us to the very last one. Under promos, click right on Gravity Pause,
Okay.
which were cute clips of Gravity Falls stuff with puppies, and we find this.
That was funny.
Hello?
What the? He speaks backwards.
Of course, we could recognize right away that he's talking backwards here.
Yes.
So let's reverse the audio.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, friends.
There we
it's
are.
Your own personal Lord and Master Bill Cipher with
Yes.
a hot tip for you.
Yeah, let's go.
You might be navigating this universe looking for some kind of secret, some kind of big answer, some sort of underlying matrix underneath the entire thing that can make it all make sense.
What is
well,
it?
I can't give you that, but I can give you something else. A
What is
code
it?
word. There's a message
Okay.
somewhere that could use this code to decode it.
What is it?
And that code is inside job.
Inside
Don't say
job.
I never did anything
Interesting.
For you. Bye!
Bye.
Inside job
That's
is some kind
interesting.
of important code word, you say? Ooh, I think I know what to use that for. Let's
Okay.
go all the way back to those codes on Shmebu Unlocked that we couldn't figure out. If we
Okay.
translate these using inside job as our Visionaire keyword, we finally find out what they say.
That's interesting.
On Shmebulock's bio, the true meaning of Shmebulock. Such horrors men endure. Blind universe laughing. Only cure? Kindness.
That's interesting.
On the Sibling Brothers, the Sib Bros were stalked by unemployed dock worker
Going to
Jenkins
jail.
W. Jenkins, who turned their exploits into cheap, terrible novels that were enjoyed by all. On
That's
Mr. What's-His-Face's bio, favorite movie? Face Off.
That what? That's
On Pacifica's
interesting.
bio, got a waitress job at Greasy's Diner after the summer ended.
Okay.
Thinks about the Pines twins every day.
Ah,
Aw.
that's nice.
On Anti-Mabel's bio, some say the Anti-Bill is a very polite purple square who whispers, believe in yourself,
What?
to people while they sleep. He is very boring. On McGucket's son's bio, there are at least 6 ghosts left in Northwest Mansion.
Okay.
Tate and Fids are working on a machine to bust them. On Philbrick's bio, never wiped number 1 dad off his gold chain.
Oh, that's nice.
In the newspaper comic, this comic dipper is saying, Cypher lives.
Cypher lives.
And on the description of the
Interesting.
president's key, Trigger and Powers are still looking for it.
What?
And, there we go.
Okay.
That's how you solve the codes on shmebuunlocked.com.
Okay.
By decoding them with a keyword found by playing a video backwards that you find as
Okay.
a secret extra on the DVD menu that you figure out how to find by decoding
Okay,
ciphers
here
on a
we go.
different part of the DVD after discovering
What?
shmebuunlocked.com
Oh my
by decoding
goodness.
this message in a graphic novel
Whoa,
using
whoa,
a keyword
whoa,
that's
whoa,
made up
whoa.
of 4 other ciphers on 4 separate
Whoa, whoa,
pages from that graphic
whoa,
novel
whoa,
together
whoa,
that you
whoa,
decode
whoa,
by
whoa,
using
whoa.
a secret code that you find on a
This is
website that you
insane.
find by
Whoa, whoa,
decoding
whoa,
another
whoa,
secret
whoa,
message on
whoa,
a supplemental piece of an
this
entirely
is-
different
this sounds
book,
like
which
the
looks very
best
similar
of
to
the
but is
best.
still distinct from 2 other codes, one of which appears in a third book, and the
There
other
we
you have
go.
to brute force. And only then do
Whoa.
we get back to any material that was
That
actually
was
in the
insane.
children's cartoon that started this conversation an hour ago.
What? Wow. Man.
I have 2 master's degrees.
The really obscure stuff. Okay, let's see what these are.
Now that that's finally all done,
Okay.
we're in the home stretch.
Okay.
Let me hit on a couple more miscellaneous cryptograms that show up in the really deep cuts.
Okay, let's
There was
go.
one last secret on the DVD box set that I didn't mention.
Okay.
So there were 12 secrets in the menu, and each
Oops.
one had a symbol for you to click on.
Okay.
These symbols are in Bill's substitution cipher again.
What-
If you
okay,
find all those
that's
symbols,
interesting.
translate them to letters,
Yeah,
and
what did they
unscramble
say?
them, you get
Gravity Falls. Interesting.
I mentioned those promo shorts with the puppets before.
What?
To go over each series, there's Old Man McGucket's Conspiracy Corner,
What?
where Puppet McGucket talks about various Easter eggs in the show.
Okay, that's
Yesterday,
interesting.
I was looking around, see, and I noticed a window in the mystery
Oh,
shack
yes.
shaped like a triangle with a big old eyeball in it. That number,
I love that.
618, at the mystery shack, in prison,
Yes,
at the cash
I've seen this
register.
before.
But what does it mean? What does it mean?
I know it-
Cryptogram.
I know it is.
Have you seen this mixed up gobbledygook?
Yes, I've seen that.
This again.
Oh,
I can read it, but I don't know what it means.
Yes.
Zero, Xerxivy, Gersmatov.
What?
He also has Apocalypse Preppin', where he messes around in a doomsday bunker.
Okay, let's
I
see.
never said we were playing for money. I wouldn't play checkers with me again if I was the last man on Earth, which I clearly am.
What?
There's Grunkle Stan's Lost Mystery Shack
She already
interviews.
talked about.
But
There
the
we
only
go.
one with any cryptograms is Mystery Shack.
Okay,
Shop at home
let's
with
see what
Mr.
these are.
Mystery, where Puppet Stan sells creepy junk like one of those old antique commercials.
Oh, I
It's got
see.
a couple of Caesar
Totally
ciphers that
makes
add up
sense.
to something bigger.
Actually,
The
let's
Aztec
say
calendar
very
episode has this one that says First Clue.
Oh,
Mabel's
that's
Pig.
interesting. I
These
wonder
Hats
what
in the
that
Fez
is.
episode spell out He gazed upon death.
Okay.
The Deer Teeth episode glitches out and shows a code that
I
says
remember this.
8.5 waged war on them. Stan
What?
also says something backwards here, so let's reverse
I
that
remember
audio.
No refund! No refund!
Yeah, what does
No
that say?
refunds! No refund!
Oh, okay.
The Mystery Box episode
interesting.
says Seuss Yellow Bracelet Club. And the UFO episode
Okay.
says
Sorry.
Blendon's Final Game.
Okay, that's
Let's
interesting.
put all those together and find whatever secret it's hiding. Mabel's pig is Waddles.
Waddles.
Thompson gazed upon death.
Thompson.
8.5, Quentin Tremblay, waged war on pancakes.
Pancakes.
Seuss's yellow bracelet in the D&D episode says Faklorp. And the final game in Blendon's game was laser tag.
Laser tag.
So if you go to Waddles,
Waddles,
Thompson,
Thompson,
Pancakes,
Pancakes,
Faklorp, lasertag.com, it brings you to an unlisted YouTube video of a gag reel.
Oh, that's interesting.
rolling.
Oh.
We're rolling.
Oh, hi!
Hi.
Just to make sure I mention all the promos and the box set special features,
That's interesting.
there's Seuss's Stan Fiction, Creepy
Okay.
Letters from Gideon,
What does that
Deleted
say?
Scenes, a
Okay.
commercial for Journal 3, a
Oh,
Season 2
right.
Comic-Con promo, and
That's
of course,
interesting.
Gravity Pause.
Yes.
But no cryptograms here.
Okay.
There's the 3DS game, Gravity Falls, Legend of the Gnome
No,
Gemulets.
I don't.
From what I hear, this game is
I never
actually
s-
pretty
I
good.
never played that game
But I
before.
haven't played it and don't own a 3DS.
Me neither.
So thank you
Sorry.
to Blazer Sora for putting this walkthrough on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
A few characters speak in Caesar ciphers throughout the game. At the beginning,
that say?
Jeff the Gnome says, "Now begins the quest untold.
Okay.
The secrets of the Gemulets unfold."
That's interesting.
Waddles says, "All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream."
couldn't find
a quote
this-
from Edgar Allan Poe. After solving a puzzle for Smebulok, he says the same speech that he says in the
Mine
Blacklight
is-
version of the journal.
Okay, that's
Spoilers,
interesting.
I guess, but Jeff turns out to be the villain, and the evil spell
Okay.
he says before the final boss fight is, "Now before the hour's late,
What?
open my soul and seal their fate.
What?
Skies turn black and forests bleed. One true leader now can lead.
Okay.
Release the spirit. Release the spirit.
That's
No
interesting.
magic I summon thee."
Okay.
The end credit says, "The true forest protector was with us all along."
Okay.
And after beating the game, you can access this code that says, "Bless you, Elder Schmebulok." Here's a weird one. Before the episode Not What He Seems came out, Disney Channel released a few
That's
clips
interesting.
called Grunkle Stan's Lost Recordings,
What-
which were
what
audio
was it?
clips of what seemed to be Stan's internal monologue during moments of the episode. Disney
Okay.
took these down not long after the episode came out, so
Okay.
I'm relying on what other people
Emphasis on
re-uploaded
Lost
here.
Submarine.
In the
I don't know
third
what
one,
that said.
he reads a cipher off the wall of his jail cell.
Huh, what's that? Something's already carved on the jail wall.
What does that say?
JLGHRQ KHUH.
What?
The last person in here must have lost their mind. I gotta get out here!
This is a Caesar cipher that says
No, that was
Gideon
so
here,
funny.
because he
Gideon.
was in the same cell where Gideon used to be. Neat. Allegedly,
That's
part 1
interesting.
came with an image with a reverse Caesar cipher that said,
says-
"Stanley is real,"
Sam
but I
Lee
couldn't
is
find it
real.
anywhere.
That's interesting.
And I have to mention the Amphibia crossover.
Oh,
Amphibia
right.
was a later Disney Channel show, and the creator, Matt Braley, worked
That's
on Gravity
interesting.
Falls before making his own show. In
Okay.
a surprisingly direct homage, there's an
Oh,
episode with frog versions
Curiosity
of
Hut.
Stan and
That's
Seuss.
awesome.
And there are
Oh,
two
that's
Caesar
cool.
ciphers that say, There is a Seuss in every dimension,
Oh my
and
goodness.
De Pacifica for life. I guess we know who Matt
Who's
Braley
that?
ships.
Understandable. Yeah.
I am exhausted.
Yeah, me too.
Before this video,
Mentally.
I was a big fan of the show, but I never really paid much attention to all the secret messages.
Me neither. This is
I
very
had
interesting.
no idea there was this much, and I did
Yeah.
not expect this video to go so long. This is easily
Understandable.
going to be my longest video ever.
Yeah.
But I can't stop because there's still a huge chunk of puzzle that I haven't even touched on yet. I've saved the best for second to last. The Gravity Falls Cypher Hunt ARG.
Oh, I remember this. The Cypher Hunt. What?
If you've made
yeah.
it this far, you've probably figured out by now that Bill
Yes.
Cipher isn't all the way dead.
Yes,
it's been
I
hinted
have.
at and even outright stated in so many of these puzzles.
Yes.
But if he's not dead, what happened to him?
Yeah, what did happen?
Where did he go? What did the axolotl do
Yes.
when Bill called on him?
That's interesting. Those
At
are
this
interesting
point,
questions.
we're not sure. But the series finale left us something to chew on in the
Okay.
meantime. One of the
Okay.
last frames of the end credits showed us this statue of Bill half buried in the woods
Yes,
somewhere.
I've seen that
And you might
before.
remember that one of the last cryptograms said something about a statue found beyond Rusty Gates. After the episode came out, fans
That's
spent months
interesting.
wondering what all this was. Until one day, when Alex Hirsch tweeted,
Let
the games begin, with this
Interesting.
hashtag in Caesar Cipher that said, Cypher Hunt. The tweet also
Okay.
contained this image. This little banner says Pines in combined
Pines,
cipher.
interesting.
But more important is the longer message in Caesar. The urban
Yeah,
legend
what does
has
that
come
say?
true. Cypher's statues calling you. The secret map is in your hand.
Clues.
To trace the clues across the land.
I don't know
Don't
what
forget,
that says.
it's all for pleasure. The hunt itself's the real treasure.
What is it?
But
what
a
is-
prize
what is-
awaits the
what
first
do the
one
orange
there.
letters say?
Be safe, be smart, and of course, beware.
Beware.
And within
Interesting.
that were letters highlighted red that spelled
Yes.
Russia.
Russia.
Russia
What?
as in something hidden in the country of Russia. This
Oh.
kicked off a treasure hunt spanning the entire globe as fans looked for
Oh,
clues to find the
wow.
location of the Bill Cipher statue,
Right,
hidden
I
somewhere in the
remember
real
this.
world. The implication, I guess, is that this is what was left of Bill's
Yes.
physical body after he died.
Okay.
This entire scavenger hunt happened before I ever watched the show. So I'm beyond thankful that people recorded and posted everything they found.
Yes.
This section of the video would be nigh impossible to write without it. Thank you to everyone who
Interesting.
participated back in 2016. Thank you to the
That's
YouTube
9
channel
years
Cypher
ago.
Hunt Streams for archiving all this old footage.
That was interesting.
And thank you to Tumblr user Mayday Girl Save Our Ships and YouTuber Blame It on Jorge. I'm cribbing a lot of notes from both of you for this.
I love that.
This drawing with the circles is a diagram of the Kazan Cathedral in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
Fans in Russia went there and found a note in Caesar Cipher
Bad
that said,
photo first.
Finally, the
What?
hunt can begin. So switch your rubles out for yen. Turn left when
Yen?
you're at the shrine's door. When you reach the statue, turn left once more.
Okay.
In the leftmost corner in the back is the info that you lack.
Okay.
A sword and a crescent mark the clue. Cipher's
Okay.
statue calling you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Switch rubles out for yen. That
What
means
does
the
that
next
say?
clue is in Japan.
Oh,
Where, though?
That's interesting.
At this point, it had become clear that Alex Hirsch set all this up earlier in the year by traveling to all
shrine
these
in
countries
Tokyo
himself.
with-
He had posted a picture of himself
Oh, right.
visiting the Kanda Myojin Shrine in Japan. So
That's
Japanese fans
interesting.
went to check there, and presumably by turning left and going to the back, they found this message.
Okay.
Consider in your quest for truth, the hunter of the Fountain of Youth. 400 before his name is written. Outside the gate is where it's hidden.
Okay.
Find what's lost to pass the test.
That's
From a shrine
interesting.
that's east to a shrine that's west. Okay, so the next clue was somewhere in the Western Hemisphere. And the hunter of the Fountain of Youth was Ponce de Leon.
Oh, that's
Fans
interesting.
in Atlanta, Georgia went to 400 Ponce de Leon Avenue
Okay.
and found a lost poster for Wallace.
Where's that?
The cipher on the poster says, across from the stones
What is that?
of
What's
the
that phone
springs,
number?
you'll find some peculiar
If
things.
found,
Tied to a
call-
root is a lone pink key. Dig to find what waits for thee. There's also a phone
Okay.
number, and calling it gets you a message from Stan.
Okay.
Hello, it's Grunkle Stan, and I have a riddle for you.
Okay.
What has 2 legs during the day,
2 legs during the day.
4 legs during the night,
Okay.
and it's red and white?
What?
I don't know.
Red and
I'm
white.
no good at this riddle. It's an ochre court, all right? The next clue is an ochre court.
Okay.
It's like a middle building in Rhode Island.
Okay.
You go up some stairs and there's gonna be a bunch of pictures of nuns on the wall. You gotta look
2 legs during
behind
the
one of
day.
the nun pictures. Sister
Okay.
Mary Hilda Miley. Real grouchy, that nun. Lift
Yes.
up the picture, you find the clue behind the nun, alright?
Yes.
That's the whole thing. Don't, be careful with the picture. Don't break it.
Yeah, good idea.
I don't want you to get anyone in trouble. All right?
I love that.
You don't want Uncle Stan going to jail. Anyway, go to the place.
Yeah, go.
Find the nun. Find the thing.
Let's go.
And all the way. Look out
for
for mysteries.
Okay,
love
so he
these.
spelled that one out for us. This should be an easy one. But funnily
Okay.
enough, there was no clue there because the nuns threw it out.
Oops.
So Hirsch had to improvise a replacement and
Hi,
update the
we're
voicemail.
A man whose first name is his last. A statue honoring his past.
That's interesting.
Right behind him, by the sign of his park, a golden head shows light in the dark.
What?
I don't know what that means.
Golden head.
Glad I don't
in
have to
the
go out
dark?
there and figure this out. Wonder what's on TV.
I
This
love
led to
that.
the statue of Griffith J. Griffith in Griffith Park, Los Angeles. A fan found a golden stand
Okay.
head with a message written in invisible ink that you need a blacklight to read.
Oh, that's
When revealed and
interesting.
translated, the message says, 50 plus 50, that's the city. From
Okay.
one angle, it's quite pretty.
Okay.
You'll find a bow tie and one eye. At his
Yes.
head is a rectangle. Stones
Okay.
by stairs atop the top right angle.
What?
The stone with a UV swirl can glow. Find the black pouch that's below.
What does
50
that
plus
mean?
50 is 100. So the next clue was
Oh.
nearby in Century City.
Okay.
There's a building there that, from a bird's eye view, looks a heck of a lot like Bill Cipher.
Yeah, it does look
The
like
one
Bill
who found this
Cipher.
clue was actually Jason Ritter, the voice of Dipper himself.
hello.
He and some fans went to the building and found the UV rock in the pouch below.
Okay.
Inside the bag was a USB with another audio message from Stan.
Okay.
Howdy, treasure hunters. Grunkle Stan here
Hello.
to tell you about the next clue.
Hi.
Whoa! Who
Well,
are
what?
you?
What? Who are you?
It is me, Sister Mary Hilda Miley.
What?
And I decree that you shall never find the
What?
treasure.
Who is that?
Some kind of ghost.
What?
Has flown into the mystery shack here. She's
What?
she's got a ruler in her ghost
Oh,
hand.
no.
Ow! Hey!
Yeah, what?
I am the spirit of seriousness. I hate anything fun.
What?
Carbonated beverages, boys and girls
Oh,
holding
come
hands
on.
at school dances.
There's
and
nothing wrong
most
with
of
that.
all, I hate treasure hunts. Also Knuckles.
What?
Ow! Zeus, get the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah,
Yes,
get
sir,
the
Mr. Barnes.
Zeus.
No, my one weakness, a creative solution. I'll be back.
That's
You'll never
interesting.
find the treasure.
That's interesting.
Good job, Zeus. Have
What?
a chicken nugget.
Thank you.
This is a raise.
Zeus. Okay, that was fun.
All right, kids. The next clue is a kind of tricky one. You see, this is one that can only be found by someone who is currently in the building it is hidden in.
What?
That's right. I'm looking for students at the California State Summer School of
Where
the
is
Arts.
that? What is that?
Only CISA students can find this clue.
Okay.
Want anybody else going to CISA? All right.
Okay.
You're not allowed in.
Oh, yeah,
Only
that makes
students
sense.
there are allowed in.
Yeah, that makes
Students,
sense.
scour the sub-level. You'll know
Okay.
it when you see it. And
That makes
watch
sense.
out for Sister Miley's ghost. Seriously.
So students at CISA quickly found this graffiti of Bill Cipher
Oh,
and a
that's
new kind of
interesting.
code.
What does that say?
This is written in something called hexadecimal to decimal cipher.
What? What is
this
that
code
for?
is complicated and annoying to try and explain. So if you're
Understandable.
curious, I've linked a guide below. But
What
for
does that say?
now, I'll just tell you that it translates to latitude and longitude coordinates
Oh,
to
that makes
Piedmont
sense.
Park, California. Buried in the park
Yes.
was a capsule with a 5-letter combination
interesting.
lock.
Oh,
What
that's
else?
interesting.
Pines.
Pines.
Inside was a pink key and a message
Okay.
in plain English for once. LA has the clue you want. 1825 N, Vermont.
Thank you.
27128's the box for thee.
Okay.
Don't be puzzled. Use the key.
Yes, good idea.
1825 N, Vermont doesn't mean the next clue is in Vermont. It was at
Okay.
1825 North Vermont Avenue in LA,
Oh,
where fans used the
okay.
key to open up P.O. Box 27128.
Oh,
fans
good
had
idea.
to drive from Piedmont Park to LA to get the key to the P.O. Box.
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
inside, they found an envelope full of Stan bucks with a picture of Bill on it saying, I hope you like puzzles,
Yes,
and a
I do,
jigsaw
kind of.
puzzle. This puzzle was
Jigsaw
insanely hard because it's
Yeah.
90% plain yellow.
Yeah.
But a huge crowd of fans were able to put it together over days. The
That looks
completed
tough,
puzzle
okay.
showed a picture of Bill with the words corner,
Oh.
Tillamook, and Rodney.
That's
The
interesting.
corner of Tillamook and Rodney is in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
There, under a lawn gnome, was the next message. To the
Looks like
redwoods
a-
you now must race.
redwoods.
If you're confused, it's the right place.
Yes.
The gift shop is not too far. The password
password.
will buy the eyeball jar.
Yes.
It also contained a Viewmaster, You know, those old things where you put film in a wheel and look through it like a
Oh,
kaleidoscope?
I've
Showing
seen
pictures
that-
of
I've seen something like
Confusion
that
Hill,
before.
a tourist attraction in California that inspired the Mystery Shack.
Oh, that's
Fans had to go to the
interesting.
gift shop to find an employee who was in on the hunt.
Mystery
the
and
employee
Mountain
asked for
Train
a
Ride.
password.
Oh, that's interesting.
What password? Going back to the Stanbucks, shining a black light on them would reveal the word
Philbrick.
Philbrick. So when fans said Philbrick to the gift shop employee, they gave out the jar of eyeballs with the next message written on the bottom.
Okay.
Where
that's
has my
interesting.
grunkle gone? To Stanley Street in Oregon. A
Okay.
telephone pole is where he's at. Why'd he have to bolt like that? A mailbox on Stanley Street in Amity, Oregon held the next clue.
Okay.
A bolt-shaped capsule with a scroll of paper.
Okay.
What? Oh, what is this? Oh, is that a scrolled message hidden in a magnet inside?
that
we
is
took this
interesting.
bolt and we stuck it into
That's
a telephone pole with a bunch of other bolts that
Yes.
looks exactly like it.
And we were
That's
watching a
interesting.
live Periscope of people like, okay, we're here. We think that the clue is around here somewhere. We're looking for a bolt, maybe.
That's interesting.
And they like
I always
found
wondered
it.
what Alex Hirsch sounded
We're like,
like.
what is this? Threw it away and then kept searching. And then
into
we're,
the bushes.
We're watching live like, that was it.
Oh, no.
Once fans eventually found it again, it said, Roger Tofty knows the place, behind a sign buried at the base.
That's
near
interesting.
Pa's Laundry on the hill. Here lie the bones of a man named Bill.
Oh, that's
Roger
interesting.
Tofty was the founder of Enchanted Forest Park in Turner, Oregon.
Oh,
Buried
that's
by this
interesting.
sign
Here
was a
lies the
jar
bones
with the
of
next
man.
message. Return to where it all began. The final piece is in your hand.
Okay.
The parchment can be such a tease.
Yes.
The answer's written in the trees.
Okay,
And on the reverse
interesting.
side was a treasure map, as in a legit X marks the spot treasure map. The
Okay.
piece of paper it was on also linked up with the initial picture that started the whole hunt.
Oh, that's
But none of this
interesting.
was anywhere close to enough information to find out what this was a map of.
Yeah, what was
so
this a
Alex
map
Hirsch
of?
tweeted out an extra clue. An Urban Legend arcade game gives the method's correct name.
That's interesting.
Mathematically, the letters hide in branches and knots, no matter the side.
That's interesting.
The Urban Legend arcade game is Polybius, and he's
Polybius.
referencing a Polybius square, which looks like this.
Interesting.
Each letter is represented by 2 numbers. But you can't just Google Polybius square and find
What?
a handy chart to decode whatever you're looking
What?
at. Because a Polybius square has 25 boxes, and there are 26 letters. So every Polybius code key chooses a different box for 2 letters to share.
That's
Also, what
interesting.
message are we even decoding here?
Yeah, what?
Well, the tweet said, letters hide in branches and knots. If we
Okay.
go back to the initial page that started the hunt,
Oh.
there are trees with branches and knots behind the picture of the Bill statue.
I don't know what that
This
says.
is by far the most impossible, esoteric single code in the
I
entire
don't know what
franchise
this
to date.
is.
But here's roughly how it works.
I don't know what that says.
A letter in a Polybius square is made up of 2 numbers, and each tree has
Okay.
2 branches or knots on them.
Oh,
So each tree
that's
stands for a
interesting.
letter, and each branch or knot stands for a number 1 to 5.
Oh, that's
Alex Hirsch said
interesting.
that the code is in branches
That's
and
a cool way
knots
of doing
no
it.
matter the side.
Okay.
Reddit user Running is Funny figured out through trial and error that the 5 different numbers are branch pointing up with leaf
Okay.
equals 1, branch pointing down with leaf equals 2,
Okay.
branch pointing up without leaf equals 3, branch pointing down without leaf equals 4, and a knot
Interesting.
equals 5. But that still doesn't
Fascinating.
tell you which Polybius square to use. So after that point, you basically have to brute force it until you find a
Okay.
word that makes sense. And that word is
Wow.
Reedsport OR.
Oh,
And finally,
fascinating.
after all that, you line up the treasure map to a map of Reedsport and follow the trail to the Bill Cipher statue in the woods.
Yes, thank
Buried
you.
next to him was a box full of goodies and a blacklight
Okay.
message that said, Congratulations on finding the Bill Cipher
statue.
statue. Bill's final resting place.
Okay.
Whosoever finds this treasure is hereby the new mayor of Gravity Falls.
Yeah,
So use your
thank
title
you.
well. Chances
Good.
are you didn't do this alone. So share the wealth. You
Yes.
are an amazing fan.
Good idea.
Your pal, Alex Hirsch.
Thank you.
There was also a copy of Journal 3 with a bonus page that looked like this. There was a picture of the main characters whose eyes glowed under a black light
Ooh,
with the phrase "Trust no one" written on the top.
That's interesting.
And there was a USB drive with a final audio message from Stan.
Okay. Oh, it's that song. We'll meet again. Don't know where. Don't know when. But I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Oh, my esophagus. Hey, guys. Congratulations on
Yeah, thank
finding
you.
the mysterious treasure of the
I wish there was
the
a video game
statue
version
in the
of this
forest.
of the Cypher statue one. That would be really fun.
This is it. You reached the end. You really did it.
Yes, thank you.
You looked for it and you found it.
Yes.
And now it's yours.
Thank you.
If you were hoping for some kind of like a cash prize.
Yeah,
I
what?
can't blame
what
you.
happened?
the real treasure is the journey and
Yes,
the friends
thank you.
you made along the way.
Yeah, good
In
idea.
case you don't have any friends, and at least you got some exercise. Anyway,
Oh, that show is so
you know,
funny.
take a picture with the statue.
Yeah, good idea.
Shake his hand. That's kind of like a prize.
Thank you.
And tell everybody how you did it first. That makes you the best.
Thank you.
Also, you know, if other people helped you, give them some of the gold plastic coins. Share the wealth.
Yeah, good idea.
Anyway, congratulations. I'm Grunkle Stan, and as I always say,
Yes.
no refunds.
No refunds. Thank you.
Not sure why he's
That was
telling us to
good.
shake Bill's hand. That's a little suspicious.
Yeah, what?
The very last message here was a text file on the USB that said, "Return backwards to the past again 3."
What?
So during the part with the puzzle, fans figured out the next clue without finishing the whole thing. But to encourage people to finish it, Alex Hirsch promised to release the unaired pilot of the
Don't
show if they
throw the
did.
IRL.
So they did, and he gave out the
Oh.
link, themysteryofgravityfalls.com
That's a good
/pilot.
Yes.
Going to that website asks you for a username and password. The username is return backwards, and the password
Yes,
is
return
to the
backwards.
past again 3. Case sensitive.
That's interesting.
And then you can watch the Gravity Falls pilot.
Thank you.
Hey, wait a minute. I know this website.
Wait,
this is the
hold
same
it.
site I've been using to decode all the puzzles.
Yes, it was.
But I thought this was fan-made? I guess whoever runs this website is friendly with Alex Hirsch?
Oh, I don't know.
Now, looking at the narrative presented in the scavenger hunt, it seems like Stan
Oh.
is the bad guy here.
What?
After Bill was defeated, his body turned into this statue and got left in the woods, while
That's
his
interesting.
spirit or whatever is trapped somewhere else. So then, Stan created this hunt to trick unsuspecting fans into
That was
finding the
good.
statue and freeing Bill by shaking his hand.
That's an interesting.
Shake his hand. That's kind of like a prize.
That's an interesting way of
Ooh,
doing
maybe
it.
because Bill found a way to take over Stan's mind.
Oh.
We'll meet again.
Don't know where.
Don't know where.
That's what fans have theorized
interesting.
anyway. I like that explanation, as long as
Yeah,
it's
me
within
too.
the self-contained narrative of the Cipher Hunt. But I don't feel comfortable
Yes.
treating this as canon to the rest of the franchise.
Understandable.
Mostly because Alex Hirsch said it wasn't canon.
The unofficial
Disney
tra-
had nothing
it's
to do with
an
any of
unofficial
this.
tra-
It was all
fantasy?
set up by him and him alone for fun.
Field
And also,
trespassing? Yeah,
I
that
don't get
makes
the
sense.
impression that Hirsch ever intended any of this to make much narrative sense. For
That
as
was-
involved as it was, it also has this kind of slapdash element to it. As
Okay.
clues were hidden wherever he could get to, in public places, without notifying
Okay.
the people who worked there, leading to a lot of
Okay.
clues almost getting ruined. I don't
Okay.
interpret these voice messages as the real Grunkle Stan or Bill and Stan's body leaving clues for
What?
us.
Yeah, that would
I
make
interpret
sense.
it as Alex Hirsch leaving clues for us,
Oh,
and doing it in
that-
Grunkle Stan's voice to add to the flavor.
Yeah, that's
None of
that's
this was
a
meant to be
good way of
taken
doing
super
it.
seriously from a lore perspective. That said,
Okay.
Bill
Well, that was
Cipher
fun
is
anyway.
totally still out there somehow. I'm not discounting the many other clues that say he is.
Okay.
And that's it. That's every piece of Gravity Falls media released with something to decode.
Okay.
As of 2018. Maybe some of you were confused about why I
2018.
made
Never
this
mind
video
all that.
now, when Gravity Falls has been dormant
hell
for
is so
6
fun?
years.
What
Or
happened?
maybe not,
6
because I make
years?
videos on random non-trendy
That's
stuff all the
interesting.
time. But there is a reason why I chose this moment to cover Gravity
Go
Falls.
on.
Because a new book just
What?
came out.
Oh,
It's called
I have
The
that
Book
book.
of Bill.
Yes,
and it
I've-
released at the
I've-
end of
I've-
July.
I've shown that book
This
before.
is huge.
Kind of.
Not just because it's more Gravity Falls, but because it promises to continue the story of so many vague leftover plot lines.
Oh, that's
We know that
interesting.
Bill didn't fully die at the end of the show.
Yes.
We know the axolotl is important. We know there's more we can learn about Bill's
Okay.
dimension and how it might be related to the cause of Gravity Falls' weirdness.
Okay.
All the supplemental materials that came out after the show ended have been slowly teasing this out.
Okay.
To a
that's
person who just
interesting.
watched the show by itself, the story is over, and Bill's fate is sealed.
Okay,
but
yeah,
to
that makes
us,
sense.
having gone through everything, the
Yes.
narrative is wide open.
Yeah.
The Book
How
of
is
Bill
that
is
possible?
apparently told from Bill's point of view, and it promises to give us an extended look into his character, talk
Deeply
about his origins,
the book is
and give us
deeply
lots more
cursed.
puzzles and cryptograms to tear
What?
into.
That's so
As of writing and recording this section of the video,
Travel to-
I have not
to-
yet read the Book of
Which is
Bill.
meant for older
It's not
readers.
out yet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm gonna get a copy as soon as I can.
Okay.
So I'm gonna sign off for now and cut to a few days later when I have it.
Yeah, that
It'll be
makes
like
sense.
a week for me and 3 seconds for you.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I've done that
see ya.
before. Despicable Me! I've seen that movie before.
Well, here it is.
Oh, it's
Finally
oh,
got it.
that's the one I
Yeah,
have.
So, you might notice the different color. That's because this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive version.
Yes,
The
good idea.
regular version has a red bill.
Yes.
Apparently, this version has a bunch of extra pages in it somewhere.
Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
let's see what we got here. You would not
Okay.
believe how long it took for me to get one of these.
I don't know.
Using a bank account to buy things is tricky when you're technically considered a missing person. So
I guess that makes
took
sense.
me a little bit.
What
Got
is this?
some
those
different
are the
symbols
those
in
are
here that I've
different
never seen
symbols.
before. Doesn't look like there's any like highlighted letters.
Interesting.
There usually is. You know, I could have filmed
I
in
love
my
this.
void like I usually do, but you know, as I've learned recently,
Okay.
sometimes it's nice to get outside.
Turn
So
to
I found
page-
this
I don't
nice
know what
little
that means.
nondescript, undisclosed location.
Okay. that
Oh, I
makes
bet you
sense.
this barcode can scan for something. I'll do that later.
Yeah, what does that scan for?
Okay, so random chapter of The Great Gatsby in the middle.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Good start. Good start.
I've never read that book before.
Now here is a page I'm gonna have to decode.
I don't, oh, that's
Yes,
interesting.
basically, Bill is trying to get me, the reader, to shake his
Okay.
hand or make a
Choose
deal,
our
something
entire
along those
universe.
lines.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, let me
Interesting.
recap what's actually in this book.
Yeah. Well,
It opens on more writing from Ford, shortly after Weirdmageddon, where he speculates about whether Bill is really dead.
interesting.
He says all the
Yes.
things that the fandom has been thinking all these years. That
Okay.
Stanley's memory got erased, but he got his memories back, so if that wasn't permanent, neither was Bill's death.
Interesting. Yeah,
Ford
I know
stumbled
this.
across this book that seemed to appear out of nowhere. He tried to
Yes.
destroy it, but nothing worked.
It
So now
infects
he's
other
leaving
books.
these notes telling people to please stay away from this book. Don't read it.
Interesting. Don't
If you
read
ignore
it.
Ford's
Whatever.
instructions and keep reading, Bill appears
Whatever.
and talks
Hi.
to you, the reader.
Yes.
The whole premise of the book is that Bill wants you to make a deal with him. Let him into
Still
your
don't know
mind
what that
like Ford
music
did,
is.
so he can re-enter our
Turn the
dimension.
page. Turn the
Now,
page.
obviously, I know that I would
still
never
don't-
make
still-
any kind of
the
deal
sad
with
part
Bill.
is,
Unless.
what the?
Nah.
Nah.
Come on, that joke's way too obvious. Bill's real, and I've got plenty of fictional bad guys to worry.
What?
I mean, Bill's fictional, and you know what I mean.
Yes, I do.
The question of whether or not Bill is
Welcome
dead
to the
comes
after.
up
You're
constantly.
probably wondering.
Every time the topic comes up, Bill dodges
I'm
the
perfectly
question.
Fine.
Obviously, he's not dead because he's talking to us right now.
Yeah, that
but he
makes
doesn't
sense.
seem to be fully alive either.
Oh, that's
He's back to
interesting.
a similar status quo as the beginning of the show, where he's in his
Uh-huh.
own dimension and he can only influence our world by making deals with humans. But the vibe you get is that he's been
Interesting.
weakened by what happened in the finale. This whole talking to you through a book
Okay.
thing is more convoluted than
That's
usual.
that's so interesting.
So maybe his powers are more limited than before. Bill tries to get you on his
Okay.
side by sharing secrets of the universe with you and his philosophies on various topics.
That's interesting.
It's all a lot of fun letting this ridiculous character let loose and chat about things.
Bill's booth.
And this book
Yes.
isn't for kids.
It's not for kids.
They try to make it very clear that it's meant for
Sounds-
older
yeah, it's
readers.
meant for older
It's not a
readers.
huge departure from Bill's portrayal in the
Someone
show,
creepy.
but the demonic satanic imagery is more overt. There's more
Interesting.
body horror and light
Yeah.
sexual humor. I never expected to see the word polycule in a Gravity Falls book, I'll tell you that.
What movie? What?
The
what
real
is that
meat of the
word?
book
What
that we
does
need to
word
talk
mean?
about is when Bill starts talking about his origin and life experiences.
Dreams.
We finally get the beginnings of answers to
interesting.
questions that I've been asking throughout this whole video.
Oh, okay.
Bill was born in the second dimension, as in everything is flat there.
Okay.
But he could see that there was a third dimension out there.
Oh,
He tried to show it to
interesting.
everyone, and then something happened that killed
So
everyone in
much
his universe
blood.
except him.
What?
Finally, we're getting some payoff to this
realized I
mystery
could
set up by
never
the
undo
Axolotl years ago.
I
It's
can't
kept
read
vague,
this.
but the simplest interpretation of this is that Bill accidentally, but maybe a little on purpose, brought
I
something
can't
deadly
read-
from the third dimension that killed everyone.
I can't read
Bill
any
left
of
his
that.
home and came to live in the Nightmare Realm.
I love that.
Eventually, Bill discovered Earth
Okay.
and Gravity Falls.
Yes.
Apparently, something was causing the slow decline of the Nightmare Realm, so he needed a new home.
That
And
was
Gravity Falls was
interesting.
a spot where the boundary between dimensions was weak. This is
Okay.
the definitive cause of Gravity Falls' weirdness, this permeability between dimensions.
Oh,
it's also
interesting.
confirmed that the UFO was
What?
not the cause. The rift drew them there thousands of years ago.
Okay.
Bill set to work trying to seduce a human to build a portal using the crashed UFO's
What?
technology. And a big chunk of the book catalogs his many failed attempts before finding Ford.
That's
His first
interesting.
attempt was the Native American shaman that was briefly mentioned earlier.
Okay.
The shaman figured out Bill was evil, cast some kind of ritual spell to keep him away from Gravity Falls, and we also learned that he was the one to create the prophecy.
Okay.
Which I realize I haven't mentioned yet.
Yeah. What?
Okay, so in the
I
show's
know
title
this.
sequence, there's this ring of symbols around the picture of Bill.
Yes, I've seen
Lots
those.
of fans speculated that each symbol represents a different character in the show, and various
they were
cryptograms
right.
in the finale hinted at how they could be
They
used to
handed
defeat
the
Bill.
bond- the seal.
In the
Interesting.
finale, the theory was confirmed, but Stan and Ford
Okay.
screwed up the ritual by fighting, so they had to do the memory wipe as a backup
I remember
plan.
that.
Anyway,
Yes.
now we know where the ritual came from. Bill
Okay.
tried over centuries to get somebody to build him a portal, until Ford
Okay.
accidentally undid the shaman's spell.
Oh.
Here we get some exclusive, never-before-seen pages of Journal 3 that flesh out more of Ford and Bill's relationship.
That's
We see
interesting.
that after Ford rejected him, Bill was actually kind of sad about it.
What?
As in, he felt a real emotional attachment to Ford and misses being his friend.
Interesting.
He acts like he just had a bad breakup.
That's interesting.
That's a running motif throughout the whole book. You remember the line from the Axolotl's poem?
Yes.
Says he's happy, he's a liar. Bill keeps insisting he's fine and happy, but he's clearly not.
Yeah, he's not happy.
He says he's fine after getting killed, and he's not.
Yeah, he's not.
He says he's fine after Ford dumps him, and he's not.
And he's not.
And he says he's fine after seeing his home dimension destroyed, but he's not.
Yeah, he's not happy.
Bill talks to Ford about it, where he says his dimension was destroyed by a monster, showing real signs of trauma. We don't know what this monster was. It could be some unnamed creature he accidentally summoned, but also that monster could be himself. It's his fault his dimension was destroyed.
Technically
and he blames himself, thinks of himself as a monster. All this gives a, pun intended, extra dimension to his character. As the book comes to an end, Bill makes you an offer. Go find his body and shake his hand so that he can come back to Earth and take over a second time. But then more notes from Ford, Stan, Dipper, and Mabel tell you one more time not to listen to Bill.
Yeah.
You reject Bill's offer, and he flips out.
Yeah, he's not
And
happy.
it's finally revealed what happened to him. After he called on the Axolotl sent him to extra-dimensional prison/therapy called the Theraprism.
What?
He'd been trying to escape by secretly writing this book and sending it to Earth, but it failed. And this is where he'll stay until he learns true remorse for his actions. Or until he finds another way to escape. And that's the Book of Bill.
That's interesting.
What you'll get out of it from a surface reading anyway. Now let's go hunting for cryptograms.
Yeah, let's look. The Book of Bill cryptograms. Let's see what these are.
There's a small handful of cryptograms that use the usual Caesar ciphers and the like.
Okay.
But the vast majority of codes use something new. This book introduces us to not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 new symbol substitution ciphers. Thankfully, they all look different enough that it's easy to tell them apart. But, sheesh.
Yeah, how
and
am I
there's no
supposed to solve
key for these
this?
ciphers anywhere. You have to figure them out just by brute force, just plugging in letters until you find sentences that make sense.
How am I supposed to find?
Or just wait 5 seconds after the book comes out and find a key somebody made on the internet. ARG fans are something else.
What?
There's a cipher made up of Nordic runes, and a cipher made up of alchemical symbols. And there's a cipher used by beings in the Theraprism. These 3 are the most common ones. But there's also a color cipher.
What?
These strings of colored squares where each color is a letter. And the Pine Brothers cipher, a made-up language that the Stans invented when they were kids. This is the only one of the 5 that has a decoder in the book. This code is meant to look like censored swear words, and funnily enough, it's been used before. In the Blind Eye episode, McGucket looks like he's cursing, but you can translate this to the word Disney.
Disney.
Between all these different codes,
I see what they
it's
did
a lot. But let's go through every cryptogram in this book in order.
Okay, let's go.
The inside cover says, even his lies are lies. Olaf was here.
So that means they're true?
Praise the fallen Angle. And remember us.
Yes,
all
how?
in 4 different ciphers.
Fascinating.
The summoning page says, let him in and break the seal, between what's fiction and what's real.
Oh,
and
okay.
The Axolotl thinks he's won.
What?
But Cypher's games have just begun.
That's so interesting.
There's a bunch of fake books in here, with barcodes that you can scan for more secret messages.
What?
If you scan this one, you'll find that it's for a book called How to Self-Publish a Children's Book.
What?
Up here it says, irregular.
Irregular?
In Bill's bio, there's a Caesar cipher that says, the guy who writes the codes.
Oh.
This magazine cover, under 7 New Sins, says, Glutto Slothany. And this barcode scans to say,
I love that.
Hey nerd. The Goth Moth says, not a phase on its wings.
Not a phase. Interesting.
This here is one of those tilt-to-read things. It says, need a password? Fine, I'll talk. It's the name of the eyeball dock.
The eyeball dock.
This is one of those pictures where you have to unfocus your eyes to read, and I can't really show you through a video, but it says, no.
No.
The fake Pokemon card says, warning, folding this card may result in T crossovers.
What?
Down here it says, my optometrist never saw it coming.
What?
The skin page says, paper is book skin, and shave your grandma.
What?
These knuckle tattoos say, love and pain.
Fascinating.
The barcode on the human heart says, I miss the void.
What?
The void is a creature that he insists he never dated, but clearly he did, and like everything else, won't admit how much he loved it.
What?
This candy heart says, lies.
Lies,
This page says, regrowing limbs is Axie's art.
What?
But can he grow a ripped out heart? And yeah, it does say Knan. I guess it's a misprint. The Silly Straws page has a ton. We've got eye doctor of a different kind who wants to make his patient blind.
Oh, interesting.
The doctor says 3 sips a day will make the visions go away.
Oh,
Fussy eater, baby Billy, wouldn't drink unless it's silly. And twisted out of shape after the kill, the ghosts of his family are haunting him still.
Oh, interesting.
That last one is something new.
Yeah, what?
Each section of the code is 5 or 6 numbers that correspond to a specific moment from an episode, with a season number, episode number, and a timestamp.
Oh, that's...
Of shape. After the
Oh, that's interesting.
his family.
I'm haunting me.
There's a big page about codes.
Fascinating.
We know this page has to be important, especially since Bill says that this book has no codes.
Fascinating.
There's writing carved onto a tree that says this symbol equals
What does it
A,
say?
which
A.
helps you get started solving the Theraprism cipher.
Oh, that's
And there's a
interesting.
wheel with all the letters of the alphabet on it. We'll come back to this one.
I don't know what that says. What?
There are only 2 codes in the Barnes & Noble exclusive
Did you
pages.
pass? Read on.
Say bat and
Say ba-
he never
interesting.
sleeps, he never dreams, but somehow he still hears their screams.
Fascinating.
On this page about Dipper, there's a cipher that says Mason, Dipper's
Yeah,
real
Mason.
name.
Oh,
I know
that's
it's super
interesting.
hard to see, but trust me, it's there.
Oh, I think I see it
This
now.
popsicle stick says Booberry. This
Okay.
prism says One-Eyed King.
Oh,
Bill's license plate on here says Suck It. Oh, and check this out. This ex-member of his crew is the
Not
Oracle
important.
from Journal 3.
Oh.
His opposite.
That's interesting.
On Bill's wanted poster, it says, can warp narrativity, protect fourth walls,
Fascinating.
tantrum, and lone survivor of the Euclidean massacre.
That's interesting.
Ah, now we have a real name for Bill's home dimension.
Oh.
Euclidia.
Euclidia.
As in Euclidean geometry.
Oh, that right.
The
That's
shaman
interesting.
page says, which henchmaniac ratted me out?
What?
Probably the Oracle. This wizard hat says Titan's Blood, which is an Owl House reference. Another
Okay.
Disney Channel show directly
Titan's
inspired by
Blood.
Gravity Falls.
I
This
never
one
saw that
says,
before.
Suck It, Merlin. This hidden name of the lobster lord of the deep is Daryl.
Daryl. Fascinating.
This candle says Curse Widobane, another
Okay.
Owl House reference.
Okay.
The dollar bill on the America page says, It's all made up.
What?
And below it says, Countries aren't.
True.
This tiny string of numbers on the animation page says, Rubber Hose.
Okay.
The file number here translates to Bill Cipher.
Okay.
Then we get into the Lost Journal pages. Like the regular journal, anything
Okay.
written in the author's cipher is written by Ford, and everything
Okay.
else is written by Bill.
Fascinating.
We've got Six-Fingered Freak, and
Okay.
Stanley could have made her laugh on this page.
I love that.
Ford gives a tattoo of a cipher without knowing that it says, If lost, return to Bill.
What?
In the section where Bill tells Ford about his home dimension, it says, Forget the past.
Okay.
There's a page where Bill's previous victims visit Ford in a dream and tell him, I grow maddened.
What?
Ford thinks it's an anagram, but can't figure it out. But we can see that it's an anagram for Weird Mageddon.
Wow.
This page says, Hopefully
That's
F's
smart.
gloves will hide what Cypher has done to my hands.
What?
This snake has very faint symbols on it that say Ouroboros.
Oh, I see them now.
This one in Bill's eye just says no.
No.
We finally get our first use of the Pine Brothers cipher on these pages.
What?
This says, Miss you.
What does that say?
And this says,
Oh.
Have I been too harsh all along?
Fascinating.
This interdimensional hot sauce packet says,
Burrito
Hot
pan-
Solotl.
What?
And now we move into the final section. This one is just obnoxious.
Now what does that say?
Super small on the edge of this page, it says, Destruction is a form of creation.
Okay.
What's Ford's favorite color?
What's Ford's
It's
favorite
so
color?
tiny and so far up against the edge that on my copy, it's actually covered by the binding. I had to pry the book apart to see it.
It's still too small.
The end of Dipper's letter says, P.S. I can write codes too. It's not that hard.
Oh, interesting.
In Stanley's letter, what looks like a censored swear word is actually
Okay.
Pine Brothers code for love you, bro.
Oh, that's nice.
As Bill is defeated, he says in code over and over, Axolotl,
Axolotl.
and just fit in.
Just fit in.
And weirdly, apparently, there's a
Fascinating.
color code on this page that's only in the Portuguese version that
What?
says Santa Cavalina, or Holy Mackerel. Oh, that hasn't come up yet. In some of the books and games, it's explained that Philbrick Pines was a member of a society called
Okay.
the Royal Order of the Holy Mackerel.
I love that.
Its logo is the symbol on Stan's fez. So he got the fez from his dad.
Okay, that's nice.
None of this has any relevance to anything. It's just an extra lore detail.
Okay.
This picture
nice.
of Bill in the Theraprism
Yeah,
says,
what does that say?
Well, being. His fellow patients all have their names written in cipher.
Yes.
Spheremonger, Eternal Lore,
What?
Bill Cipher,
Yeah, that's
the
what it
Logic
says.
Cube,
What?
King Gorius,
What
Jessica,
are these things?
Shadorg, Mr. Silly, and The Beast.
Oh, I've seen
And
that
finally,
before.
the back cover has 2 more codes. Justice
Okay.
for Scrimbles,
Okay.
the elf you killed, long story, and Remember Gremlin,
Understandable.
a being that Bill
Remember
captured and
Gremlin.
tortured, and is still trapped, I think.
This is not Bill's cipher.
Okay,
This-
let's loop
what?
back around to the codes page. Here's what that alphabet circle
Okay,
is for.
right.
Throughout the book, there are a bunch of coffee stains. Each one
Huh?
has 4 gaps in the circle.
Oh.
If you take the alphabet circle and line it up on top of the coffee stains, these gaps line up with letters. And the number of dots tells you the order of the letters. It's a little finicky and imprecise, but that's how it works. There are 11 coffee stains in the book, and putting them all together gets us one big message. Well, almost one big message. It seems like there are 2 missing. But even without them, you can figure out what it says. His dimension now deceased. Scalene and Euclid, rest in peace. Scalene and Euclid. Bill's parents? And there's one more thing hidden in this book. Well, not really hidden.
Anyway.
On this page, there's a line that says, "For more Bill Cipher press fun, visit thisisnotawebsite.com.com."
That's interesting.
A website link that's way less hidden than usual. So let's go see what's there.
This is not a website.com.
Going to this website brings up a password prompt.
Okay.
But what's the password?
What is
Remember
the password?
that tilt to read puzzle?
Need a password?
Need a password? It's the name of the eyeball doc.
Oh, yeah, I remember
there was a
this.
section in the book where Bill randomly threw in a chapter of The Great Gatsby.
Okay.
It was the part
Eyes
where
of
T.J.
Dr.
Eckleberg was introduced, the optometrist with the giant creepy sign of eyes and glasses.
What?
T.J. Eckleberg is an eyeball doc.
That's interesting.
So if we type in T.J. Eckleberg.
Fascinating.
Oh? What's this?
3 days.
A countdown.
Fascinating.
And a cryptogram that says Lost Files.
Fascinating.
Okay, I guess I'll see you in a few days when it hits 0.
Okay, bye.
Alright, 30 seconds.
Here we go. 25.
This is exciting. This is the first time I'm here live. Like, I know there are many other people all around the world doing exactly what I am right now. So I'm glad to have finally caught up and gotten through everything so that I can be here at this moment.
13, 12, 11,
let's go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And
now.
What
does that say? I think that says
nothing else
I
changed?
can't say that because I don't know what to do. Well,
all right, I'm gonna refresh the page.
Yeah, let's refresh it. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. It's crashed.
Yeah, that explains
It's counting
it.
up now. That's so funny.
Okay, yeah, so something went wrong and the website didn't work right.
Okay.
The fandom immediately went crazy, tearing this page apart, trying to find anything they could.
Okay,
Alex Hirsch tweeted after a while that there really were technical difficulties, and we just had to wait until they got fixed. But while we wait, let's dig into what we do have.
That's funny.
We got our last 2 coffee stains, and clicking on Seuss cycles through a bunch of dialogue options.
That's
Among them are a link to a PDF of The Great Gatsby, a link to a new Gravity Falls lo-fi album, and occasionally this one where Seuss's eyes turn yellow, and he says something in alchemical cipher that translates to so many questions. The Gatsby PDF turned out to be nothing.
That's interesting.
But the lo-fi playlist has some more secret codes in it.
What?
2 tracks have Morse code messages.
What is it?
Gideon's theme says, "Free me."
Free me.
And Weirdmageddon Part 1A says, "Remember Euclidia."
Interesting.
Those same phrases are also present if you take the song files and turn them into audio spectrograms.
What?
The compilation video with all the songs also has capitalized letters in the description that spell out "Free me."
Free me. Interesting.
The website's still broken.
Yeah, it's still broken.
So let's talk about some of the other marketing things that came out around this time.
Yeah, what is it?
To promote the Book of Bill, Alex Hirsch tweeted out this picture of a billboard, pun intended, of Bill's personal injury attorney hotline. This is a real number that you can call to get a variety of messages.
What? He's just laughing. To hear me laugh at your pain, I get it. I get it. Oh man.
That'll be $9.99.
What?
I've linked a video in the description of every message posted by that GF fan.
Okay.
There's this long-running Twitter account called Oregon Parks Department, used to market various Gravity Falls books.
That was interesting.
It's supposedly run by bumbling Oregon Park Ranger Gus Burnside, as he stumbles across various weird things on the job.
That's interesting.
It mostly consists of him finding copies of whatever new book is coming out.
Oh.
It really kicked into high gear around the release of Book of Bill. Gus tweeted this ahead of the book announcement.
What did that say?
With the first letter of each word spelling Bill is coming.
Bill is... Oh, it
Later,
does say
he
that.
posted countdown photos to the release date.
9
Day
days.
8 had a rune cryptogram that said, "Don't shake his hand." The story ends with Gus finding a copy of the book,
What did that
realizing
say?
it's evil,
Okay.
trying to burn it, and
Yeah,
then going
whatever.
missing.
Yeah,
His
he's
ultimate
going
fate
missing.
is hinted at in the injury hotline.
Are you currently on fire?
Well, uh-oh. What? He was on fire? Oh, no. I'm sorry for laughing. Oh, man. Yeah. He's, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
And
guys.
Disney Channel released this
Fascinating.
short called How Not to Draw
What is
Grunkle
that
Stan,
for?
where a drawing of Bill comes to life and takes over the artist's body.
What?
A cryptogram flashes at the end that says, by
There
translating
we go,
this
there we go.
code, you are
What?
hereby agreeing to let Bill Cipher take permanent control of your mind.
What?
Good luck with that.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, there
so
it is.
it's been, like, several weeks at this point.
There it is.
The website has finally updated.
Okay.
The Seuss fixed the
I've been
wires and
recording
everything,
for hours.
and the countdown finished to bring us this screen. There's a lot here.
Yeah, there's a
Taking
lot.
a quick glance around, the writing on this candle says "cursed."
Cursed.
These symbols in the
Interesting.
prism are Stan Brothers code for sorry. And up here, whenever lightning flashes, you can read the words Valus Cineris,
Oh, that's
Latin
interesting.
for Valley of Ashes.
It is a. That's
Clicking on stuff in
interesting.
the room brings up little snippets of articles and things with the same kind of vibe as the Book of Bill.
Okay.
Clicking on the eyeball jar, for example, brings up text of Bill telling us
should
about
have
a
known-
failed portal built by dolphins.
That's interesting.
Clicking on McGucket Labs gets you a note from McGucket.
Oh.
The gold tooth gets you this get out of death free card. The knife gets you a description of
I
a
love
Bill
that.
defeating helmet made by that anti-cipher society from the book.
Fascinating.
And clicking on the book itself gets you a note from Ford warning us not to read it.
Okay.
This cryptogram down here says Ad Astra
You're-
per Aspera.
Oh, what
Latin
does that
for
say?
to the stars through adversity.
Oh.
Ford's motto.
Okay, I get
Here's
it.
the real crazy part though.
What is
it's
it?
actually backwards.
What?
To translate it, you have to flip it and use the mirror image.
Okay.
Which is a real pain considering this is one of the 3 codes that all look the
Okay.
same except for the orientations of the symbols.
Oh, that's interesting.
But the real star of the show is the computer.
Oh yeah.
You can
What is
type
it?
passwords into this box down
Oh,
here, and certain
right.
words will unlock various things.
What did I say?
For example, putting in Dipper gets you a note to Dipper from Bill, and putting in Mabel
Okay.
covers the room in stickers. There are literally
love that.
hundreds of passwords that bring stuff up.
Lab fully
Some of them
Mabel
only
Eyes.
give you a little
I
line
love
of text, but some of them unlock big things.
Yes.
For now, I'm mainly going over the big important ones,
What is
and
it?
the ones that unlock new cryptograms.
Okay, let's go.
start with the ones written in the room. Cursed gets you this
Curse.
page, warning about the danger of triangles.
I love that.
Sorry
Resist all
gets you a
time.
picture of Ford and Fiddleford in college.
Hey.
Ad Astra per Aspera
Oh,
gets you a
right.
journal page about Ford and Mabel dealing with Bill's corpse. And Valus Cineris gets
That's
you...
interesting. What? Hello.
Why did you do it?
What? What?
Why did you do it?
I didn't do anything.
Huh. You can put in the name of just about any Gravity Falls character and get something. This is what you get for Stanford, for example.
It is interesting.
Stanley
That's
has something extra interesting. So some of the codes give you different things if you put them in multiple times.
Okay.
Usually, Stanley just leads to an eBay page for brass knuckles or other things Stan would like. But sometimes
That's
it brings up this page
Wheel
of
of
Bill
Shame.
telling us about all the most embarrassing things Stan ever did.
What?
That's all a bunch of fun stuff. But at the bottom
Okay.
is a link called How He Beat Me.
How he beat me.
And if you keep on clicking it,
Fascinating.
well, just watch.
He didn't. I'm still here. He didn't. I'm still here. Look, I can't. I don't know. What that, well, I don't know what that says. What word do you want me to say? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. What? Okay, I see what's happening here. Keep clicking this here. Keep doing it. I love it. Is that all you got? What are you doing to me? What? What? Sometimes I can close my eye. I don't know what that says.
This says,
I can see.
I can still see
I
through
can
the
still see.
eyes of everyone I've ever.
What? Turn it off. Stanley Pines, the common clown, always dragged his family to. I'm still on your mind.
Let's do some more
Bill
character
Cipher.
names.
Yeah.
Bill Cipher takes you to the
Okay.
Wikipedia page for Triangle, or Eye
These
of
codes
Providence,
also work
or
when
a
typed
YouTube video about
backwards. Oh,
shapes.
interesting.
Gideon brings up a clip of Gideon singing, or
What?
it Googles sweat-resistant bolo ties.
Fascinating.
Robbie brings up messages between Robbie and Thompson trying to find Bill. Waddles brings up a link to a pig adoption website.
Oh, that's so nice.
Fiddleford takes you to a YouTube video of the Cotton Eye Joe. Putting in Seuss, Wendy, and Pacifica
Okay.
gives us notes from them telling us not to read the Book of Bill.
That was
like the ones that were in
interesting.
the actual book. Pacifica's, though, mentions following her on Platinum Paz.
Interesting.
So if you type in Platinum Paz, it brings up this short story
Oh.
about Bill trying to lure Pacifica into
What
shaking
are
his
your
hand.
hands? What?
It doesn't work.
Yeah,
and
it
the
doesn't
end has a
work.
cipher that says, "Stay away from her, Cipher. She has the protection of the lumberjack spirits."
Yeah, what?
Mason brings up a note from Dipper
Oh.
with some anagrams that translate to
What does that say?
Stanford Pines,
Stanford Pines.
Stanley
Stanley
E. Pines.
Pines.
Not sure what's going on with that one.
I don't know what that's.
Gideon Charles Gleeful,
I steal pennies.
Preston Northwest,
Preston
and
Northwest.
Pacifica Elisa Northwest.
That's interesting.
Blind Eye brings up this
Blind
eye
Eye.
chart. The text is Caesar cipher for They'll see.
They'll all see. Interesting.
And the color cipher says,
what does that say?
Euclidean Department
What does that
of
say?
Vision Supervision.
Interesting.
But be careful, because if you click to zoom in, it gets blurry, and you can't undo it.
Okay.
A lot of the passwords we
What
get
does that
from
say?
phrases and translated cryptograms from the book. Theroprism gets you
Theroprism.
this. In case of the old one, do not use elevators. 7 Eyes gets you a picture of the Oracle. On the back
that's
is a
interesting.
warning about Bill telling us there's one
Leave him,
dimension where we can be
escape
safe from him.
to dimension.
The code at the bottom says, set chords to dimension reality.
Fascinating.
Typing that in gets you pictures of Bill's henchmaniacs with
Oh
a
my
caption,
goodness.
they found a new home.
Wow.
Destruction is a form of creation gets you losing his mind notes from McGucket
Interesting.
with binary code for unreality.
Unreality.
At the bottom.
Oh, that's interesting.
And unreality gets you this page of Bill talking about the philosophy of what's
Here's
real.
the big picture.
Suck it, Merlin
Suck it,
gets you this picture with the code Daymare versus Nightmare.
Fascinating.
Irregular gets you Bill's mugshot with the code no
Oh.
prison or attention span can hold him. Ouroboros gets you a journal page of Ford adopting a pet axolotl named
Fascinating.
Frillium, which may or may not be the axolotl. This
What?
code says Chonk Boy.
What?
Say Bat
Oh,
gets
that's
you a
the
note
one
from
from the
Bill
book.
telling us to rise up, sheeple, with the code Black Sheep.
Black sheep.
Black
Interesting.
Sheep gets you more of that note telling us to stare at a pole
A
for
test
a
of
while.
patience. What?
Tantrum brings up an argument between Bill and Time Baby. In the bottom corner is some
And
hard to see
transmission.
text that says
Just blend.
blended.
Just blended.
And putting in that password gets you a picture of the Old West.
Fascinating.
Love You Bro gets you this note in the Stan Brothers code
This
that
really
says,
happened.
want to keep notes from parents and cops?
Okay.
Here's a hint. Kings of New Jersey.
Kings of New Jersey.
And putting in Kings of New Jersey downloads a
This
font
is
file to your
interesting.
computer that lets you type in code. In the same
love
vein,
that.
Cryptogram Codex downloads font files for
What?
all the other Book of Bill codes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Here's a few more passwords that get you file downloads.
Giffany.
Giffany,
What's-
after a
what
while,
does that say?
downloads all this.
What the?
And Paper is Bookskin downloads these Photoshop files.
I love that.
The color
Enjoy.
code really lends itself to hiding in flashes of video. So here's a few of those.
Fascinating.
Forget the past
What
gets
the-
you this
what does this
glitchy
all
color
say?
code that says 2 dimensions to and fro.
What?
You always know which way to go. If you're lost, don't be afraid. In Euclidia, you've got it made. Run too far to right a frame, you'll appear on left again. Jump too high, don't
me.
cry or fret, you'll pop up from the ground, I bet.
Fascinating.
In this place, there is no fear. Loved ones will be ever near. Roles
Okay.
and rules, always clear. Euclidia, we hold you dear.
Oh, interesting.
I'm Still on Your Mind pulls up
What
video
the-
and audio of what looks like the stands on the stand of war.
What?
And a color code flashes that says,
What does that
Oh,
say?
little Billy, wore Velcro until he was 16.
Oh.
He said shoelaces were fascist, but we really think he just
Interesting.
couldn't figure out how to tie them. Just Fit In plays this video
Okay.
with one frame of a color code that says,
Oh,
Rockabye
what?
Billy, please don't you cry.
What?
It's not your fault you have that
Interesting.
strange eye. Stay safe with mommy, you'll never fall, and we'll always love you, sharp angles and all.
Fascinating.
One-Eyed King plays this video. You can hear Morse code in the background as Bill is talking.
What?
You want to pledge your soul to Bill Cipher.
What? You want to pledge your soul to Bill Cipher?
You want to pledge your soul to Bill Cipher.
This is so funny.
It translates to NAITSUAF.
Faustian.
Faustian backwards. And Faustian backwards
What does that
gets you a
say?
contract for you to sell your soul to
Oh,
Bill. The
what
fine
does that
print code
say?
at the bottom says,
Oh,
You are now 21 grams lighter.
okay.
And this contract is legal and binding.
Yes,
We reserve
what?
the right to use your likeness, face, voice, and small town pluck in
What?
whatever nefarious manner is deemed necessary. Sans soul. Your
Okay.
soulmate will not recognize you and will walk right past you on a cold autumn day, never
Interesting.
making eye contact.
Okay, that's
not even
good.
processing that you gave eyes at all. No
Interesting.
amount of interaction will move them to a place where they can remember. In feeling the thousands of lifetimes you have already spent together, each time choosing whatever form would keep you
Interesting.
closest, like otters
Fascinating.
holding hands in a tumultuous river. You were birds. You were trees with roots
Fascinating.
entangled, drinking in the sunlight together.
Okay.
Wherever we go next, whatever you choose, I will always be right with you.
Interesting.
That's done, buddy. Congratulations. You have chosen
Yes.
Bill instead. McDonald's
What?
reserves the right to put a giant yellow W on your torso and forehead and send you walking through a crowded Times Square while you scream, the fries, they don't degrade
Why
in
are there
nature.
letters
It's
missing?
an immortal food. They will be in the landfills long past our deaths. Good God, the things I've seen. Me? Who am I?
Yeah, who are you?
I'm Bill's previous lawyer. He put my soul into a quill pen so I can write
Oh.
his legal documents until the sun snuffs
Okay.
out like a candle in the sick universe. I used to be hot.
That's
I was so
interesting.
fine. Now I'm
What?
fine print. Speaking of which, Bill reserves the right to put your soul into an inanimate object.
Okay.
A strange creature, a concept, a
I
sentence,
can't
a
read.
tasteful but rustic mason jar with
I can't.
wildflowers in it.
I can't keep up with
If
it.
at any point you wish to have visitation rights with your soul, you will be swiftly denied. Unless you had a cool day planned for the both of you. Then Bill might want to come along. By signing this document, you forfeit any rights to eating soul food. It will
Okay.
turn to ash in your mouth. A fitting punishment for a fool
Okay.
who squandered the only true gift life owes you. Bill reserves the right to dress your soul however he deems necessary.
Okay,
especially if your
fascinating.
soul was a nerd before acquisition. Soul makeover. Your soul may become fractured
Soul
and placed into different
makeover,
objects.
what?
This has no purpose and will not resurrect you if you die.
That's
Signy has
interesting.
forfeited all rights to any afterlife,
can't tell that.
including but not limited to heaven, hell,
That-
purgatory, big corner, flow state, the dream house,
What?
the reincarnation processing center,
What
axolotl,
the-
S-tank, and consequences hold. Signy
That's
can no longer
insane.
board the soul train and is advised to discard all bell bottoms.
What?
Signy can no longer have a puppy as a best friend.
Aw, man.
They can sense what is gone. Cats are indifferent.
Okay.
Signy may experience occasional demon possessions from Horculus the Red, Playbos the Merciless,
I can't
Morbus son of Mortem,
What?
Plaga the Oozing, and other such common demons roaming
These are-
Earth searching for weakened empty vessels. Tips for ripping your soul out at home, matching YouTube commentary channels,
What?
attending an extended family event with an open bar,
That's
using
insane.
generative AI and asserting that you are creating,
Okay.
turning a blind eye to human suffering, amassing more wealth than needed, purchasing a blue check mark.
What?
If you
That's-
sign the contract, a few things will
How's
happen.
doing business with
the
you?
candle will turn blue, and also when you
What?
turn on
What
the
was it
computer,
for-
it
what's
plays
it
new
for?
audio with a backwards message.
What does that say? What? Oh, interesting. What? Interesting. What? What? I didn't do anything. What?
That's every password that gets you something worth investigating.
Okay.
Except for the last section, which I'll get to in a minute.
Okay, that's
But
interesting.
this video is called Decoding Every Hidden Message in Gravity Falls.
Yes.
So
What
I
is
feel
it?
like I have to at least
What does that say?
mention every password.
Yeah, so let's go.
So let's go rapid fire here.
Let's take a look at all the passwords.
Weird Mageddon, a newspaper article.
What?
Baby Bill, an ultrasound.
Okay.
Romance, audio of a romance novel.
What?
Owl Trowel, fake history textbook.
Okay.
DP Fresh, 90s cartoon parody.
Whoa, whoa, what?
Pythagoras, Plato and Aristotle.
That's a lot of stuff.
Paper
Whoa,
Jam,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Paper Jam Dipper. Lies, the Game of Lies board game.
What?
Any curse word. Wash your mouth out with soap. Curse
I've seen that
Wittebane.
before.
Ouija board.
That's interesting.
Divorce. O'Sadley's Pub.
Whoa.
Last Yard Beach. Postcard.
What is
Even
this?
His Lies Are Lies. Bill talking to his therapist about Ford.
What?
Hey Nerd. Infomercial. Analog
I've seen
Horror.
that before.
The Always Garden.
Yes,
When you're
okay.
here, you're here.
What?
Tourist Trap. Brochure
Whoa,
for the Caves
what?
of History. Card.
This is insane.
Bill's business card. Or Fruit by the Foot.
What?
Morality. Amoral animals killing each other.
That's
Shave Your
interesting.
Grandma. Part 2 of the skin section of the book.
Oh, I've seen that
Blueberry.
before.
The Meaning of Life.
What?
Ocelotl. Wanted poster for Bill's Henchmaniacs.
Okay.
Fortra Marine. An article on colors.
Okay.
Spooky. Goosebumps parody. Akuramus
Oh, what?
Iterum. Old-timey ad
This is
for a
insane.
screaming tube.
What?
Alex Hirsch. Conspiracy theory about how he's dead.
What?
And a Google search for flannel. Hectoring. A gospel song about Bill.
What?
Weird. Weird Al Yankovic.
Hey,
Matt Pat.
Oh, hey,
Matt Pat.
that's interesting.
Tad Strange. Sexy Bread.
What?
Disco Girl. Audio of Dipper singing. God. An axolotl.
What is
Dorito. A jump scare.
Dorito. Oh, just a
Conspiracy.
jump scare.
Charlie Day freaking out. Burned Inside.
Interesting.
The remains of Gus Burnside, I assume.
Burned
Rubber
Inside.
Hose. It's a Small World parody.
What?
Kubrick. Bill in The Shining. Giant Bill. Pinata. Beating up a Bill-shaped pinata.
What?
Ella's Real 2401. Sue singing the Super Mario theme. Here's every other password that links
I
to
love
YouTube.
this.
Abuelita.
Okay.
Video about vacuum cleaners.
Oh, I've seen that
Blanchin.
before.
Tutorial on blanching vegetables.
Okay, let's go.
Gobnar. Commercial for Crossfire the board game.
What?
Fixin' It 1. Fixin' It with Seuss.
Hey.
Xyler or
I've seen
Kraz.
that
Theme
before.
song to Gem and the Holograms.
What?
Here's every other
What show
password
is
that
that?
searches for something on Google.
Okay.
Peak. Gravity Falls on DVD.
Oh,
Mystery
that's
Shack.
interesting.
Confusion Hill. Monster.
Where's that?
There's a monster at the end of this book.
What?
Not a phase. Black hair dye stained
What is going
entire
on?
bathroom.
There's so much
Toby
stuff.
Determined. Restraining order.
Yeah.
F.U. Alex. Get help therapy. Other passwords that link to
Okay, let's
stuff.
do it other things.
Meow. Cat video on TikTok.
Oh, man.
Virus. A
Yes.
real academic paper about the plague.
Interesting.
Cray Cray. Wikipedia for mental
There's so
health.
much stuff here.
And every password that just shows a text prompt.
Okay.
TJ Eckelberg,
Never mind.
Axolotl,
Yeah.
Journal 3, Journal 2, Journal 1, Season 3, Season 2,
What?
Season 1, London,
Andrew
Death,
Garfield. Whoa,
Life,
whoa, whoa.
Any Gen Alpha Slang,
What?
Disney, Portal, Mystery, Ducktective, The
Duck
Duchess
Detective.
Approves, Question,
What?
Answer,
This is so much
Nothing,
stuff.
Something, Book of Bill, Titan's Blood, Done, Oh Yes They Both,
What?
Euclidia,
This is insane.
Scalene or Euclid, Who Are You,
What?
Burnside,
Who are
Triangle,
you? I love
Reality,
that.
Cyphertology, Deer
What?
Teeth, Pines, Philbrick, Karen,
This is
Skeleton,
insane.
Well-Being, Buy Gold, History, Family Matters, FBI, Easter Egg,
FBI.
How Will I Die,
What?
Universe, Hologram, Scientology,
What?
They'll All See, Is Hell Real, Is There an
What's
Afterlife, You're Insane,
You're
Several
insane.
Times, Am I
This is
Blanchin,
insane.
Gravity Falls.
Okay, wow. That's a lot of passwords. Okay, let's see.
But now, things get real.
Let's go.
Type in riddle, and text
Would
appears
you like
that
to play a
says,
game?
"Would you like to play a game?" Answering
Yes.
no just gets you your
Your
loss.
loss.
Answering yes sends you down a whole chain of riddle
What's
questions.
McGucket's favorite
The answers
soda?
of which are all somewhere in the Book of Bill.
Okay.
The first one is, what's McGucket's favorite soda?
Let's see what that is.
In the Book of Bill, there's a page of McGucket and a can of Mountain Don't next to it. So the answer is Mountain Don't.
Like Mountain Dew.
What's a medieval homonym?
What?
The medieval page has this phrase, liar, liar. Get
Liar,
it?
liar.
Liar,
Oh,
liar.
That's interesting.
The 20th ingredient of anti-cipherizing tonic. That's an easy one.
Oh, yeah.
The Anti-Cipher Society has their list of ingredients here.
That's
And the
interesting.
20th is Harold's Ramblings. Harold's
Ramblings. What is that?
How is clown repellent made?
What?
This newspaper ad says it's Union made.
Union made.
Union made.
Interesting.
Bill's government file number? Another easy one. There was that whole file section, and the number
Okay.
is right here. 29121239168518. Who comes from Zimtrex 5?
Who?
That's Grebly Hemberdreck. I mentioned him before.
Oh, I get it.
Grebly Hemberdreck.
Yes. Now
What's
I
on
get
Bill's flag?
Okay.
On the Dark Ages page,
What is this?
Bill is cheering for the Black Plague
I'm
like a
getting this
sports
now.
team, and has a flag with a rat on it. Rat.
Rat, okay.
Thurbert's number? Thurbert
Okay.
was the anti-cipherite who got sent to a sanitarium.
Thurbert.
And his patient number is
3466554.
3466554.
Interesting.
What leaves a thin line in the snow? Ford recorded these footprints in the journal.
Interesting.
And the line is made by a tinsel snake. Tinsel snake.
Interesting.
The sixth option on Bill's editing software? That's right here. Torture mentally.
Torture mentally.
Torture mentally.
Fascinating.
Name an unpronounceable wizard.
What?
That's this guy. XGQRTHX.
Yeah, it's just there's
Where
no
do
vowels
Tri-Angels
anywhere.
come from? The Tri-Angels is this company selling
What?
figurines of Bill.
Oh, that's nice.
And they come from this address. And you do have to type in the whole
Oh
address.
my goodness.
333 Sundapple Lane, Cozy Creek, Illinois. 607-14-94611.
That's a lot of stuff.
Bill Cipher's lawyer?
Okay.
This one actually has two answers. One is in the book directly. Caesar, Atbash,
Okay.
and Visionaire.
Fascinating.
But a second option is to go back to the Faustian page on the website.
Oh.
Where Bill says his lawyer is multi-level Mark.
Multi-level mark.
Multi-level
mark. Interesting.
That leads to who defeated Silas Birchtree.
What?
This one had the fandom stuck for a while.
Interesting.
Silas Birchtree is mentioned in the journal briefly, and only in the Barnes & Noble section.
Yes.
And there's nothing here that works as an answer. But
What?
eventually, after a long chain of discoveries, we cracked it.
Yes.
I watched this from afar while other people cracked it. If you type in the password,
I love that.
Goodnight Sally, you get this t-shirt of Bill. But check this
Interesting.
out.
Goodnight,
the
Sally.
markings on the shoe are Morse code.
Oh.
Translated, it says
Fascinating.
Diona Rap. Paranoid backwards.
Interesting.
Diona Rap brings you to this big old collage of stuff.
Wow.
There are letters hidden on some of these pictures.
Fascinating.
You can see them better if you adjust the brightness and contrast. The letters
Oh.
spell connect the dots backwards.
Oh, that's interesting.
Stod ext Sinach brings up an entire chapter from a book called Lesser Known American Cults.
What?
Talking about how Silas Birchtree founded a cult called Cyphertology.
Fascinating.
It's implied that Silas was a regular guy who was possessed by Bill.
Yes.
The cult
What?
fell apart before Bill got them to finish his portal.
What?
Because Emmeline Butternubbins burned it all down. Also, the code on the very bottom says, you can't kill an idea.
You can't kill an idea.
You can't kill an idea
Oh,
brings up the
that's it.
page from the Barnes & Noble version that explains Silas Birchtree, in case you didn't have it.
Wow.
So, back to the riddles.
Multiple
Who
ones.
defeated Silas Birchtree? Emmeline Butternubbins.
That's
And we're
fascinating.
rewarded with this. You've
Okay.
earned a treat.
Let's go.
Enter Dispense My Treat to download.
Let's go.
Typing in Dispense My treat downloads a bunch of
Okay.
artwork used as backgrounds in the
Ooh.
Book of Bill.
Wow, fascinating.
And
I've seen
then,
those pictures
after
before.
that,
what is it? What is it?
Okay, I'm gonna level with you.
What?
The title of this video is A Little White Lie.
What?
So, these images. There's no chance that this is the end of the ARG.
What?
There has to be more.
I still don't know what that
Not
means.
just because ending now would be super
these pictures look so
anticlimactic,
cool.
but because there are leads to something new.
Oh, what's this?
This image has a cryptogram for kook,
Kook.
next to a key, suggesting that kook is a Visionaire keyword to something.
What does that
And
mean?
these pictures have subtle differences to the ones in the book itself.
What?
Like the codes picture saying,
What?
no why.
No why.
And that's on top of weirdly specific file names and misspelled words across the entire website.
What?
There's more here to find.
What?
But
yeah, there has to be more.
It's been a month and nothing.
Oh no.
Nobody's cracked anything new since.
Fascinating.
So this isn't decoding every message in Gravity Falls. This is decoding every message as of September 10th,
I'm not going to
2024.
get so mad at simple.
I didn't want this video to end so anticlimactically.
I love this.
But I don't know what else to do. The only option
Yeah,
is
me
to
neither.
wait for fans to figure out the next steps.
You fools are unworthy of my great knowledge. The era of human enlightenment shall never come to pass.
I love that.
For now, though, this is where it ends. We have officially decoded every single
Man.
known cryptogram and hidden
California,
message
I've been
in
there
the
before.
entirety of Gravity Falls canon. If you have something in mind that I didn't mention, like right now you're thinking, hey, why didn't you talk about X?
What?
It's probably for one of the following reasons.
Yeah.
One, it's not canon.
Understandable.
Like, I'm not going to go through every single Alex Hirsch tweet. Two, it's a piece of media without any cryptograms in it.
Okay.
There were things like other Flash games, novelizations,
Take
and comic
back the- Oh, I've
adaptations
played
of
that game
episodes,
before. That
and
was so
that
much
infamous book that had a screenshot with a video bar that I skipped over because there was nothing interesting to say about
What?
that.
What did that
Three,
say?
the thing looks like a secret code, but
Okay.
isn't. There are
Okay.
plenty of those around. The big one I can think
That's
of is
interesting.
McGucket's laptop. It
Okay.
seems like this should translate to
What
something
does that
important,
say?
but the fandom came
I
up
don't know.
empty. And four,
I don't remember.
actually did forget something. Or it was discovered after I finished the video.
Well, I don't know.
If that really is the case, feel free to leave a comment about it.
Well, I don't know.
Also leave a comment if you have questions or need clarification on anything I said.
Okay.
And when I do make that
Wow.
follow-up video, after people figure out the rest of the puzzles, it'll be
Okay.
linked right here. So all you
Okay.
people watching
Oh,
in the
that's
future
the-
don't have to worry about a cliffhanger. You can skip right to
That
those
was-
new answers.
Wow.
Otherwise, subscribe. So when
Man,
it does
thank
come
you.
out, you'll be the first to know.
Yeah.
So, with all this information gathered together,
Nice.
what have we learned here? Let's start
Fascinating.
by talking through the lore that we learn outside of the show itself, which is, in
I
short,
love that.
the story of Bill Cipher.
Wow.
We learn that Bill destroyed his home dimension, Euclidia,
Fascinating.
mostly by
Oh,
accident, killing everyone there, including his
did.
parents, Scalene and Euclid.
Oh, okay.
He's a really
That's
powerful,
interesting.
extra-dimensional being.
Skin
But there are
puppets.
other beings as
That's
powerful
the-
as he is. Time Baby,
Yes,
the
fascinating.
Oracle,
Yes.
this dog somehow,
Yeah, I've seen that
and
before.
above all of them is the god of the multiverse, the Axolotl.
Axolotl.
At some point, Bill made a deal with the Axolotl to grant him a second chance at life if he was ever defeated.
Okay.
Which by the end of the series, he was defeated, and he
interesting.
found himself trapped in the Axolotl's Theraprism,
Oh, okay.
where he schemes for a new way to escape, unsuccessfully.
Fascinating.
Most of that is just the plot of the Book of Bill, though.
Okay.
What about all the cryptograms?
Symbol,
what do we learn
yes.
from them?
Yeah.
Very
what-
little.
Understandable.
I've spent dozens of hours
Six,
researching and decoding all this stuff. And
Okay.
everything important is explained explicitly in the texts. You don't have
Okay.
to go become a cryptology expert to understand what's going on.
Okay.
The cryptograms might get you information before anyone else,
Okay.
or they could drop cool details that are nice to know but aren't essential.
Interesting.
But none of the answers you find matter that much, which I find equal parts frustrating and admirable.
What is that?
The philosophy
I don't
of
know
Alex
what that-
Hirsch and this franchise has always been that it's
Okay.
not about the answers at the end. Curiosity
Interesting.
and the act of puzzle solving is its own reward.
Yes.
This
Fair
is
point.
further reinforced by a fuzzy approach to canonicity. Anything outside of the show
Interesting.
itself might be canon and might not.
Interesting.
And some of the cryptograms across the franchise are explicitly
Wow.
diegetic,
I
written
remember
by a
that.
character like Bill or Ford, and some can only be read as written by Alex Hirsch
Happy now,
and the
Ariel.
creative team.
I remember this.
This keeps all of us from worrying about tiny inconsistencies that inevitably crop up, so we just have fun investigating.
What?
And I did.
I don't understand.
Have fun, I mean. This is, in fact,
Man.
way more fun than going outside. One more thank you to all the
Special
people in the
thanks.
fandom who did all the
Gravity
hard work
Falls
for me,
Fandom
who made this video
The
possible.
mystery of
I have a
the
full
Internet
bibliography in the
Archive.
description.
This is not a
but let me shout out some
website.com,
more people I
.com.
haven't thanked out loud yet.
This-
Thank you to the fans in the
Help
This Is Not a
Gravity
Server.com
Falls.
Discord for cracking the website and making that big
That's
Google Doc of every
interesting.
password.
Man, this
Thank
video
you
was
to anyone who's
interesting.
uploaded or shared secret videos or high-res
That's a lot
PDFs of the
stuff.
books.
Blame it on
Thank you to
George.
the people who made royalty-free remixes of Gravity Falls
That
music that you've been hearing
GF
throughout this
fan,
video.
that.
And thank
Charlie
you to
and-
Charlie the Pirate Thady for their awesome fandom of Gravity Falls Lost Legends. Definitely
Yes.
watch that if you can't get your hands on a physical book.
It was
If you
fun.
want to get a deeper understanding of all this stuff beyond what I've told you,
musical
go check
ghost.
out all this and more in the description. Also,
Okay.
if anybody wants to see it, I posted my full
Patreon,
live reaction
big
to thisisnotawebsite.com to my Patreon.
What?
So,
That was
yeah.
interesting.
I guess
Patreon
the real
bonus
mystery
video.
was the friends I made along the way,
Man.
or something like that.
It was fun.
I'm very tired.
Yeah, me too.
I'm very grateful to
This
call
video
this
was a long
project
time.
completed.
Yes, is
Now I can move on to other fictional mysteries that I need to investigate.
Okay.
I mean, never mind.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Huh?
If only people knew the truth.
That's the...
That hidden behind this vending machine, I secretly have
Boring.
Wow, that was a lot of fun to make. Hey, this video took me hours to make. So yeah, I hope you. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Take care, lots of love, and see you all in the next episode. Bye bye.
Go,